So cold, sleep is nice. So tired, my eyes fight. They just wanna close back up tight. Get up, hoodie on. Hard work at the crack of dawn. This life ain't for the weak ones. No, this life pure only for the strong. Feeling slow, shake it off. Don't got time for negative thoughts. Red sight, got the dot. Shoot my shot, I want the top. Never lost, got my plot. Know my story, I know my boss. I will fight against the clock. Time's a limited gift from God. One day I will have my victory. Crush all my enemies so viciously. Work so hard, my hands are blistering. And they will carve my name in history.
What is up, everybody? This is Nick Fiore of FioriousNation, Adam Carl, two co-hosts of Forbidden Podcast, every Thursday by yours truly, here on YouTube. It is Thursday, March the 26th of 2026. Adam Carl, I know Adam Carl was working on the camera earlier, ran a little, some odd minutes late. His camera wasn't working. It's slowly getting there, progress, but just want to say good morning to all you guys, because it's 10:30 a.m., quarter to 11 here on Thursday, March 26th. Adam Carl, how we doing, man?
Fantastic.
Absolutely. I mean, we're in the middle of WrestleMania season, but unfortunately, not much news out there this past week, huh?
Yeah. There's not that many, big story that we can make it to the main topic. Except.
Yeah, it's the middle of WrestleMania season. You would think, You know what I'm saying? But I will say this though, that I don't know what you think of last year's WrestleMania build compared to this WrestleMania build we're getting so far.
Honestly, I think it's much better this year.
I mean, last year, you had your John Cena retirement tour and the heel turn that for John Cena a year ago that really went nowhere. It was a great moment, but for any plans, there was no plans for that. I would have to say this year's Mania build compared to last year, I'll be completely honest with you guys. I will say this. Last year's Mania build was not good at all. It was terrible. I will say with this year, though it's not perfect, trust me, it's not perfect, not great, but compared to last year, I do think it's not bad, and I would take this over last year's build any day of the week. And so far, I do think, though it's not a great build, it is, I will have to admit, it is for sure much better than last year's build. Comparing WrestleMania builds from last year and this year, I will have to say so myself. Exactly. Especially with what we're getting with Obafemi and Brock Lesnar, and then Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton, CM Punk and Roman Reigns, Cody and Randy, like I mentioned, Punk and Roman. You got Obafemi, Brock Lesnar. You got Stephanie Becker, Liv Morgan. Not feeling it yet. We did get something of it a little bit this past Monday on Raw. Inevitably announced Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor. Rhea Ripley, Jade Cargill. That's a lot to be desired. But other than that, and I'm sure there's more to be announced, but other than that, the other matches to be, I'm sure to be on the card. Not on the card, not announced on the card yet, but I will say with the matches so far, and I'm sure there's more to come, I will say overall as a whole with the build, I will say comparing it from 2025 last year, I will say it's a lot better. Again, not perfect, but I would take this build over last year's build 7 days of the week, in my opinion.
What did we get last year?
We got John Cena going heel, but it was don't get me wrong. The moment Cena turned heel was great in Toronto on March 1st last year at the Elimination Chamber when he low-blowed Cody Rhodes and John Cena, Travis Scott, and The Rock stood tall, fought closing the chamber last year in Toronto, Canada. I will say that was a great moment, but I felt following that, it was just downhill from the Mania build last year from there. I do.
I think it was no follow-up to the heel turn.
Zero follow-up. And The Rock never showed up and said we got Travis Scott tainting John Cena's last ever WrestleMania last year. God, was that awful, bro.
Terrible.
Fiend.
Terrible. Genuine.
Yeah. But now there's no Cena retirement tour this year and no Travis Scott. I will say so myself. This year's build so far, much better. I mean, at least on the Raw side. The SmackDown side, a lot to be desired. SmackDown is just not a good show. It's not.
An understatement.
Yeah. I know I'm not wrong on that, though. SmackDown this past Friday wasn't a great show. I will say, comparing it from the last two SmackDowns before this past Friday night SmackDown this past Friday, I will say, I'll be honest, it's like the first two SmackDowns coming out of Elimination Chamber were terrible shows, just boring. But the SmackDown, I feel like this past Friday, I feel like was a step up from the past two SmackDowns. This past Friday night SmackDown, where Randy Orton explained his heel turn and stuff like that and broke Matt Cardona's arm. We'll talk about that. I felt like from that SmackDown this past Friday, though it wasn't great, I will say, compared to two previous SmackDowns coming out of the Elimination Chamber, I will say this past Friday night SmackDown was definitely, though not great, it was definitely better, in my opinion. I mean, there were some talking points, but an improvement, I would say, an improvement. But I feel like with SmackDown these days, bro, I feel like it's very hit or miss. Where on the other hand, with Monday Night Raw and Netflix, it feels like night and day, dude. I'm not sure how.
No, it's been the more cohesive of the two.
They just seems to feel like more consistency on Monday Night Raw, where SmackDown is just, like I said, hit or miss. You might get a good show, might not get a good show. Like it's a 50-50 kind of a thing. Whereas with Raw, I feel with Raw and Netflix, especially coming out of the Elimination Chamber, I feel like Raw's, honestly, to me, has been the more consistent show.
Honestly, we're being realistic.
And the stories we're getting on Raw too, as well. Like I said, Dominic Ballard, Punk Roman, Seth Rollins. We may get Bron Breakker coming back in time for Mania. We'll talk about that. But yeah, I feel Raw coming out of the chamber, I feel it's just been the much better show compared to SmackDown. Just night and day.
Yeah.
Honestly. But we're going to get into the swing of things. Like Adam Carl said, and like I've said, this past week, not much wrestling news. You would think and it's the middle of the WrestleMania season, you'd think there'd be some more big news right now. Hopefully we get that within the next week. But this past week, man, not much news. But we got something, so we'll do the best with what we're given. And Adam Carl said it before recently. Hopefully something big pops up within the next week or this upcoming week, rather. But
that's the most important.
We'll see. But yeah, so I mean, this past week, not much news, so probably be, I don't know, not much long of a podcast. Like usually go like what, 4 hours, probably like 2 hours or 3 hours at most. But
yeah, it's gonna be a quieter episode.
Yes. Oh, and Mitch says, "What's up, guys?" And oh, Mitch, you just read my mind. I was gonna include this actually. You read my mind. I know I just read this morning before we went live here. Bad News Brown will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. I did see that, and congratulations to Bad News Brown, man. I remember him back in the day, man. Big congrats to Bad News Brown, and thank you, Mitch, for telling me that, by the way. And shout out to Mitch, by the way, in the Hardcore Sports Network. Great dude. Shout out to him. So congrats to Bad News Brown on getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, as well as Psycho Sid. Oh, and Coach Ed Sports says, "Peace and blessing, Kings. Have a phenomenal show." Thank you, Coach Ed Sports. Really, really greatly appreciate it, man. And Mitch says, "You're welcome." Likewise, Mitch. Always likewise. But congratulations to Bad News Brown, inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame this year, as well as, God rest his soul, former WWF champion, wrestled The Undertaker at WrestleMania 13 in Chicago in 1997, wrestled in the main event at WrestleMania 13 for the WWF Championship against The Undertaker, Psycho Sid, former WWE champion.
God rest his soul. He's actually now every wrestler who has held the Winged Eagle Championship has been in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Undertaker, even Steve Austin, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, Steve
Before he
Austin,
turned-
Hogan,
before-
obviously, Savage,
Yeah, Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage.
Andre,
Yeah. Yokozuna.
yeah, Yoko, Backlund.
Yeah, Bob Backlund. Diesel, Big Daddy Cool Diesel.
Yeah,
But congrats to Psycho Sid. I will say, I mean, would it be
Congrats to
better
him,
if he
man.
was alive in the Hall of Fame? Yes, but I mean, I don't really like though wrestlers dead and then in the Hall of Fame. It doesn't feel right. It feels kind of just off. I don't know how
Just
you
sad.
feel about it.
It's sad because they should be getting they should be cutting their speeches in the
Yeah.
Hall of Fame.
Like Randy Savage 11 years ago in 2015 went in the Hall of Fame. He was dead for 4 years and then he went in the Hall of Fame. I find that kind of fucked up if you ask me.
Yeah,
Especially a big name like Randy Savage. He could have went in the Hall of Fame while he was alive and still living.
yeah.
You know,
and,
that's probably just me, but I know I'm not I know I can't be the only one.
yeah. I think everybody agrees with you.
Yeah.
Pretty much
Like guys
everybody.
like Randy Savage, even like Big Boss Man, Rick Rude, Vader. Vader went in like what 4 years after he passed, he died in what 2018 and went in the Hall of Fame in 2022. Don't you
Yeah.
think it would have been better had he went in the Hall of Fame if he was still living?
Yeah,
You know, same thing with like who else? Like King Kong Bundy. It doesn't feel
Yeah.
right when someone, a wrestler, passes away and then they go in the Hall of Fame. Just doesn't sit right with me.
yeah.
It doesn't. You know, but I mean, that's my only little nitpicky thing. Other than that, I am very happy that Psycho Sid is going in the Hall of Fame rightfully. So congrats to Psycho Sid for going in the Hall of Fame. As
The
right,
master and ruler. of the
he should have
world.
won in years ago, honestly.
I don't know why he never went in there for like better part of 20 years.
Yeah. And there's a lot of still wrestlers now, legendary wrestlers from the past who are not in the Hall of Fame, but should have been in the Hall of Fame a long time ago. There's a bunch of them that I can name off the top of my head, but
Yeah.
two of them, Demolition is in, rightfully deserved. AJ Styles is in, Stephanie McMahon's in. And now you got Bad News Brown, and now you got Psycho Sid. That's not a bad Hall of Fame class for this year's Hall of Fame at all, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And Bad News Brown as well.
Yeah. Bad News Brown, he wrestled in the 80s and 90s. I remember him back in the day in the Hogan era. He was talented. What's that Bad News
Yeah, I
Brown?
think he wrestled Piper at
Yes,
that
Rowdy
WrestleMania
Piper.
6. Yeah, this the infamous Piper blackface match.
Yes, yep. But
I-
unfortunately, Bad News
Listen,
Brown just
Roddy
looks like-
Piper is a legend, but
Yes,
I would like to
also Rowdy Piper.
listen. Yeah, Piper's a legend, but I still would like to know what was his thought process with the blackface thing.
Yeah,
I know it was a different period. I know it was a different period,
right.
but looking back, I mean, yeah, that was good.
And Mitch also
Painting
says I
his face
really
half
like.
black and half white.
Yeah. Then Mitch also says I really like this Hall of Fame class. I agree,
Honestly-
and I know who also likes this class now that AJ Styles is in this year's Hall of Fame. Denise, and shout out to Denise with the Queens of the Ring, by the way, with Sarah. Shout out to them.
Honestly,
by
this
the
has
way.
been the best. This has been the best Hall of Fame class in many years.
Yeah, I mean last
Yeah,
year had
AJ
what? Triple H. You had Michelle McCool a year ago that I can think off the top of my head.
Demolition, not Demolition. Demolition this year. The Natural Disasters.
Yes, Earthquake, and Typhoon.
Yeah.
One of the greatest tag teams and stuff like that. One of these years, you know, John Cena will go in. Batista, he was supposed to go in 6 years ago, but then COVID-19 hit. He'll go in one of these years for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, once again, congratulations to Psycho Sid and Bad News Brown, and also apparently Bad News Brown also. How Psycho Sid died before he went in the Hall of Fame. Same thing now with Bad News Brown. He died apparently on March 6, 2007. So almost 20 years, over 19 years, almost 20 years that Bad News Brown passed away. Now he's in the Hall of Fame. Again, like I said, it would have been better if Bad News Brown went in the Hall of Fame while he was living. But, I mean, I just question why. But, I mean, but it doesn't mean I'm not happy for him. But it would have been a lot better off because he should be making the speech, in my opinion. That's just me. Then Mitch also says, I miss it when they made the WWE Hall of Fame announcements during Monday Night Raw. I agree, man. I remember like Kurt Angle announced during Raw for the Hall of Fame. I think Sting as well, Randy Savage. You had Lita, Ultimate Warrior, Jake the Snake. You had who else? Like Bob Backlund, Bruno Sammartino, Booker T, Mick Foley, Kevin Nash back in the day, Shawn Michaels. One of the most iconic ones when Shawn Michaels went in the Hall of Fame in 2011. What was it? That first Raw of 2011? That beautiful video package WWE produced for Michaels for HBK going in the class of 2011 Hall of Fame. That was absolutely beautiful and great. Like that could not have been done any better. So yeah, I agree with you, Mitch. I miss something like that. I really do, and I wish they'd do that. But hey, I don't work for the company, but they were so great back in the day, you know.
Exactly.
And Coach Ed Sports says sports entertainment put members in after they pass as a means of trying to make up for not doing it while they were here, in my opinion. So yeah, congrats to Bad News Brown and Psycho Sid. Do you think we get one more piece in this year's Hall of Fame added, or do you think that's it?
I mean, we already got Dennis Rodman.
Yes, Dennis. Yeah, we'll talk about him. And actually, we may as well start this episode with Dennis Condrey, and as well as Chuck Norris. Apparently, and sadly, Dennis Condrey and legendary fighter Chuck Norris, if they're both unfortunately dead. Chuck Norris passed away at 86, and Dennis Condrey, I can actually pull it up here, right here. Oh, hold on. Let me see. Let me find
Dennis Condrey. I think the news was confirmed on Instagram by Dax Harwood.
Yes, Dennis Condrey. Yeah, he passed away. He was a founding member, by the way, of the Midnight Express, and he passed away unfortunately at 74 years old.
He was a part of the Midnight Express with Bobby Eaton, and they were managed by Jim Cornette.
And you mentioned Dax Harwood of FDR opening up a GoFundMe on behalf of Condrey's wife Teresa to help cover also the funeral expenses. And Harwood in the message paid tribute to Condrey as both the performer and the person. Quote, Dennis Condrey is one half of the greatest tag team of all time, the Midnight Express, Harwood wrote. For years, they brought excitement and entertainment to millions of people. However, as great as he was in the ring, it doesn't hold a candle to the human being he was, a sweet, God-fearing man who loved his wife, Teresa. Then Harwood also wrote, if Dennis Condrey and the Midnight Express ever brought any amount of joy to your life and you're able to help, please do. Then Harwood also says, please send all your thoughts and prayers to Teresa Condrey in her time of need. Godspeed. Lover boy, Dennis Condrey.
Yeah, then Dennis, he was very close with FTR. I think he made an episode on AEW Collision.
Yes.
FTR and CM Punk.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so they were very close.
Very sad, honestly.
Yeah, the Midnight Express, they were an iconic tag team from like the 70s, the 80s. They were managed by Jim Cornette. Say what you will about him. I mean, he was an incredible manager.
Yeah.
And obviously, when you think of the Midnights, you obviously think of the Rock and Roll Express. They had a legendary feud with them back in the day.
And Jim Cornette back in the day used to manage the Midnight Express as well. And Midnight Express also went in the Hall of Fame in 2017.
I think you meant the Rock and Roll Express. I think they were inducted by
the Rock and Roll Express. Sorry, there's both expresses, but
yeah.
But this is really sad though with Dennis Condrey, man. Rest in peace.
I did watch Jim Cornette's video. I think if you could look it up, he got very emotional when talking about Dennis. The video is up on YouTube. Yeah, it's very emotional. You don't get a lot of emotions from Jim Cornette. You rarely see him if ever sad. But that was an emotional video.
And then this one even hits harder. Chuck Norris recently
before we
passed
talk
away.
about him,
He had just turned 86, by the way. Chuck Norris.
Yeah. He was a phenomenal actor. He brought martial arts on the map.
Yeah, he was one of the greatest fighters of all time. He's also been in movies like one movie with Bruce Lee. I think The Way of the Dragon, really good movie, by the way. I've watched it. If you haven't watched before, I highly recommend.
He shared the screen.
He was a good actor. He was a legendary fighter, a boxer.
Yeah, he shared the screen with Bruce Lee.
Yes. God rest his soul, Bruce Lee. But Chuck Norris, man, we lost a legend as well, Dennis Condrey, and then also a legend, and both legends. But I mean, Dennis Condrey's death hit pretty hard. Chuck Norris' death, I'd say mostly out of the two, the hardest one that hit, in my opinion.
Yeah, because this guy shaped so many childhoods.
Honestly, it still doesn't feel real that Chuck Norris is no longer with us. It still doesn't feel real, honestly, bro.
Yeah, it's just the last year alone. The last year alone, we lost Chuck Norris, and this is what finds it sadder. It hits sad. We lost Chuck Norris, Ozzy Osbourne, and Hulk Hogan in the space of a year.
And not even a year.
like what, 6 months?
At least, like 6 months. Yeah, at least 6 months, 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, that's sad. That's fucking sad.
And Chuck Norris was a guy you'd think you would never you wouldn't expect to die at all. Like not anytime soon, at least. But just like
he was 86. He lived a long life.
He did live a good and long life. I will say that. I agree.
Yeah,
but it's like I feel like though Hogan, I feel like hit even harder than the two of them combined, because like Hogan would be the last person you think would ever pass away, and no one expected, no one saw it coming, and even Hogan's death, it still doesn't feel real.
Yeah, especially since he was on Raw on Netflix.
Yeah, that was the very last time he was ever on WWE TV. That first Raw on Netflix where he was booed selling his Real American Beer. I mean, we can with the eating of everyone saying your prayers, Hulk Hogan hulking up. What you gonna do, brother? But it's like it still doesn't feel real that he's gone.
And he was doing some other work, he had Real American Beer, obviously.
Yeah, I was actually I was actually very close to meeting him in early March of last year, 2025, at my local ShopRite. They had some kind of a photo op and autograph signing session going on for Hulk Hogan and his Real American Beer, and I was very close to meeting him. Then they had a cutoff line, and I didn't get a chance to meet him, but it was so close. But I remember that in early March of 2025 last year that happened, and damn, I wish I got a chance to actually meet him before and after that. And I know I got surgery a month after that last year, and it's actually coming up. It's actually a week from today is my 1 year anniversary. I got my left foot surgery a year ago, actually. But I honestly wish before or after my foot surgery last year that I really got the chance to meet Hulk Hogan. Not the biggest Hogan fan, but the guy is a legend. I mean, no matter what you think of him, the guy is indeed a legend. But like I said, it still does not feel real that Hogan's dead. Just like with Chuck Norris and Dennis Condrey. Rest in peace to those guys, man. And at least Chuck Norris lived a good long life at 86 years old. He can't. I don't think he could probably get better than that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he was having health problems for the last few weeks. I think he was on vacation in Hawaii.
Yes, and he had just turned 86 as well on March 10th. That's the other sad part about it. He just turned 86.
Yeah, that stakes even harder.
Very sad. They didn't say how. I don't think they said how he died yet. but it's just like he said, he was lately dealing with a lot of health problems and dying in Kauai, Hawaii on March 19th, a week ago. Very, very sad. There will never be another Chuck Norris.
My thoughts and prayers go out to the families of everybody. Obviously, Chuck Norris and Dennis Condrey, friends, their families, their fans, Jim Cornette. Yeah. Like my thoughts and prayers go out to all of them. Absolutely. I hope they're doing okay.
There will never be another.
Support them during this difficult period.
Yeah, just can't take life for granted, man. You really can't.
You can't.
You gotta treat life as so precious and prestigious every single day of the week, because you never know, and you can never ever take life for granted, because again, you never know. It just goes to show you how important life really is. Treat it every day like it's good, because you never know when your time could be.
Yeah.
But rest in peace to Chuck Norris and Dennis Condrey. And this guy here are sending our thoughts and condolences to the family and friends of Dennis Condrey and Chuck Norris. Lost two legends, especially Chuck Norris. Rest in peace. There will never be another. And thank you for everything, Dennis Condrey and Chuck Norris.
Yeah, we will miss you guys.
Moving on from the sad deaths this past week of Dennis Condrey and Chuck Norris, I do also want to talk about this as well. Might as well talk about, I think we talked a little bit last night about, though it's not in the description of this video today, this episode 18 today, but mentioned last night about Kyle Fletcher, something like that. Mentioned something about Kyle Fletcher that apparently Kyle Fletcher says he's ready to rewrite history, or is ready to rewrite his All In history. Quote, I want people to expect greatness. Might as well talk about it, I guess, a little bit here, yeah? I'm actually I think you DM'd me this on Instagram, actually. There's an article. He was in an interview that he was in a recent interview with Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah, he was promoting All In recently in Wembley Stadium.
Yes.
Promoting, I think you've seen his Instagram.
Yes.
With him and his girlfriend, Sky Blue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so during the interview with Southspear, during the interview, he was asked about Adam Cole and how he came to find out that his All In match in Texas wasn't going to happen. Because if you can recall, obviously, back in July, Kyle Fletcher and Adam Cole were supposed to have faced off for the TNT Championship.
Mm-hmm.
And the plan, I think it probably was obvious when you were watching at the time. The plan was for Kyle Fletcher to beat Adam Cole and win the TNT title there.
Yeah.
But then, obviously we know what happened, but right before the show, Tony Khan announced that Adam Cole wasn't medically cleared, that he would vacate the TNT title. Then we got that emotional segment with Adam Cole in the ring, he had having tears in his eyes, saying that he was going to be gone for a while, and then he had that embrace with him and Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong.
Yeah, I remember that, man. That was heartbreaking.
Yeah. So this is, if I could look up what Kyle said, this is what he said in the interview. He says, "Wow." He saw us, he was emotional. I don't know if there was an audio of it, but I could tell that he was emotional when he was asked. He says that this was the first time that he has spoken about that day. He called it was one of the worst days of my whole life. Kyle Fletcher confirmed that he had an early call time. He was planning to get up at around 6 a.m. in the morning to get ready and head to Globe Life Field. Instead, he woke up around 5 in the morning when he got a text from Adam Cole basically confirming to him that the match wasn't going to happen. He didn't go into specific details about what was said with him and Cole, but basically what he can confirm was that, he got the text from him saying that the match wasn't going to happen. And he said, and I quote, "When you have built up so much built up anxiety and you put that pressure on yourself," he trails off and he shakes his head. "You know, I'd been dieting for 2-3 months leading up to that show every single day. I'd been thinking about that moment, this match, all of it. And then the rug gets pulled 5 hours before. You can't really put it to words what this kind of feels like. When Fletcher did show up to the venue, he spent a few hours silent discussing the news about, Cole vacating the title and the match getting canceled. He said, I was just in limbo. I had no idea what was going to happen, and I had flown my mom for that show. It was obviously a huge day for me, and then it all just went to shit." He's also at great pains to point that whatever he felt that day is Fletcher paled in comparison to what Cole did. He says, "Obviously, this is my perspective. It's very hard for me to complain about it because I feel like I don't feel like I have the right to complain about it. But yeah, it was very emotional in a lot of different ways, and not how you want a big day like that to go. So I think, especially this year, I just want to make sure it's a date to remember, and a much more positive one." Happily, though, I think on the same day as this interview, the Young Bucks had an episode of Being the Elite where they were asked about Adam Cole, and they said, I think it was Matt Jackson saying that Adam Cole has been improving and getting better day by day. And he called Adam Cole the sweetest man in the business,
which is
and
fact.
one of the best to ever do it.
And I think CM Punk even said at an all-out 2022 post-show media scrum in Chicago 4 years ago, and CM Punk said the same thing, that Adam Cole is just a sweetheart. He's a very nice person inside, and like Adam Cole's just a very nice guy. They say never meet your heroes in wrestling, but Adam Cole, and CM Punk said this on the media scrum 4 years ago after AEW All Out 2022 in Chicago, that CM Punk, when he's eating Mendy's and drinking Spindrift, I think CM Punk during that same media scrum even shouted out Adam Cole, and he said nothing but good things to say about Adam Cole, that he's a very nice guy and he's a sweetheart and he wishes him nothing but the best. This is CM Punk who said this, by the way, 4 years ago, too, guys.
Yeah, although he was ranting on the Elite.
Yeah, even though he was ranting on the Elite and burying the Elite, but at that same media scrum he was on, he also put over Adam Cole and said how great he was and how nice of a guy he is, and wished him nothing but the best. Exactly. So, honestly, man, I feel for Kyle Fletcher and Adam Cole, man. I really do.
Yeah. So, I hope Kyle Fletcher, though, doesn't feel guilty for what happened. And I'm sure Adam, he and Adam have been talking for months.
Yeah.
Days.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know they had that one match on Dynamite where, sadly, we had that powerbomb spot, but
yeah, where Adam Cole was just barely hitting the apron, and it looked scary and dangerous. I mean, that spot shouldn't have happened, and Tony Khan should have stepped in and say no with Kyle Fletcher on that. But I mean,
I'm sure probably they spoke about Adam. He talked to him and forgave him. And I do feel for Fletcher because imagine going into this show, because he said it himself. He was preparing 2-3 months for the show. Just imagine training all that hard. You're gonna have a championship match against obviously a guy that everybody likes. I'm sure he has a lot of respect for. Cole has a lot of respect for Fletcher. Imagine you're preparing for this title match, and the plan is that you were gonna win the championship, and then just hours before it, the match doesn't happen. And you get a message from the man himself telling you that. Now obviously he kept it, all vague and all that, because probably out of respect for Adam Cole. He's gonna let him discuss, the full story. But basically, he did confirm he got a text from him saying that the match wasn't gonna happen. And I think it kind of lines up, because Tony Khan, he did confirm something similar to it, because he and Cole and Fletcher, they were speaking on the Thursday before All In, and then the Friday before it. And by all accounts, both parties, Cole and Fletcher were ready for the match. And then early Saturday morning is when Cole contacted Tony, telling him that he wasn't feeling right, that he doesn't want to wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
and then he contacted Fletcher after that. So it all lines up, yeah. So yeah, I feel for Kyle, and I feel for Cole especially because we haven't seen him on television since. Outside that brief appearance at World's End, where he says hopefully we see more of him this year, which I mean we hope he does. Yeah, so yeah, very emotional topic, a very a heavy topic to discuss. I mean, and it's actually nice to see. I hope Fletcher doesn't feel guilty. Like accidents happen. That's what should have happened, but things happen, and I'm sure Cole has forgiven him. And I hope I hope they've been speaking for a while. I'm sure they have. And and Cole doesn't saying to me, hey man, it's not your fault. Shit happens. Go do what you got to do to succeed.
Yeah.
Because if we know anything about Adam Cole, he's a nice guy. He's a stand-up guy.
Yeah. In a professional as well as Adam Cole.
Yeah.
So I do feel for Adam Cole and Kyle Fletcher here. I do.
I mean, if Adam Cole does wrestle again this year,
especially Adam Cole,
I hope. Yeah, I mean, if he does wrestle this year, I mean, I hope he does. I hope he's doing more importantly, I hope he's doing okay. Because definitely those last few years they have been so rough for him. Because especially with the injuries, the breakup with Britt.
Yeah,
it's been very rough, physically and emotionally for him. But I hope he's doing okay, and I do hope we see him in the ring. If he does step foot in the ring, who knows? You could get another Adam Cole Kyle Fletcher match, right? I do hope if they get the chance, they do that match that they couldn't do in Texas.
Yes. I agree. So we'll see what happens, but wishing Adam Cole nothing but the best, man. And I don't know, with all these injuries, man, the guy couldn't catch a break. I don't know if he ever wrestles again, but I just hope that man is happy and healthy. If he can do this, then yes. So I just hope the guy is health-wise okay.
Now, especially at a time on AEW television where they can use somebody like an Adam Cole, like a Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah.
I mean, I do hope they do get to do that match. And please, if you do that match, please don't do the powerbomb spot thing, please. Or do it safely.
Yeah.
At the very least.
I agree.
But I hope wishing Cole the best. I hope he's doing well. And hopefully we see him back on television soon. Because they could definitely use him.
Yeah.
Yeah, for Fletcher, I hope, his all-in experience this year is much better than last year.
Yeah.
Because he's one of the company's biggest stars. He's one of their future guys. Tony has something with Kyle Fletcher if he can play his cards right.
Yeah, we'll see. But we're going to stick with the AEW stuff. Chris Jericho. He says he still has some career left in him, and he shows some concern for the longevity of talent working today. This is via GamesHub.com. Chris Jericho says, quote, "What worries me about the guys working today is here I am at 55, 35 years in, with still some career left to go. I don't know if it's a year, 2 years, 4 years. I'm not sure. But I don't know how many of those guys working now will have the option to go 35 years. Hopefully all of them. But you can already see what serious injuries do. A bad neck injury changes everything. The longevity may be harder to sustain when there's so much emphasis on the physical at the expense of charisma and character. I remember the first time I ever got hurt, I thought I was invincible. I was in Leon, Mexico. Did a dive over the top rope, and the guy who was supposed to catch me, a guy called Masaka, he just stepped aside. I landed on old school bolted down arena chairs. I messed up my arm, and I thought, oh, I could actually get hurt doing this. And if a guy doesn't want to catch you, that's even worse. After that, I started getting smart about which moves were worth the risk. The guys who figured that out early are the ones who get the longevity.
Tell him where he's
Byron
telling
Porter.
lies.
I don't think he's wrong at all. You see a lot of these AEW wrestlers do all these flips and corkscrew flips, and it's like one of these days, one of these guys are gonna fucking kill themselves out there. You know, like you see dives in WWE, you don't see. You see, I mean, don't get me wrong, you see a lot of dives in WWE too, but at least in the WWE, it's a more safer kind of environment, so these guys are not breaking their necks out there. Whereas AEW does this like countless, like they over abuse that shit, dude. They do. They do.
Yeah, like every match, it's like almost people do the dive.
They always do the blood and those dives, corkscrew spots, and kick out of finishers, which I hate. And then the match ends in a fucking jackknife cover or roll up. I hate that, dude. That's one of my biggest pet peeves in wrestling, dude. Or when guys and AEW does this, WWE is guilty of it too, but AEW does it pretty much all the time. How wrestlers are fighting on the outside, then one guy climbs a turnbuckle, they dive on a bunch of guys beating the crap out of each other, and they see the guy sitting on the turnbuckle that trying to jump on top of all of them to the outside. They just stand there. I hate, you know what I'm saying, dude?
Like they're standing there like fucking statues.
They're like on the outside near the barricade, beating the shit out of each other. A different guy's climbing a top rope, trying to take out all guys on the outside, and they see the guy about to jump. They're like, and they just stand there. It's like, you see the guy trying to jump at you, move. I hate that, dude. I don't know how you feel about it.
Yeah. Like, be smarter.
Oh, no, stop saying that. You would stand there. You would do the same thing you do.
No, you be smarter.
Yeah. Or, like, you know how the babyface wrestlers get easily distracted? Like, dumb babyface syndrome?
Yeah. Whenever a heel's music hits.
Or when a dumb heel syndrome or a babyface music hits, or like vice versa, they hear a music hit. Oh, but you get distracted. You do the same thing too. You get distracted too. You do the same.
No. That is dumb.
Yeah, it's like you're about to finish the match, and you're distracted by a music.
Like, literally.
It's just,
like,
just
what
stupid.
Is this?
I hate that, dude.
Like, literally. It's just dumb. It's unbelievable.
It makes the one getting distracted look like a fucking dummy. I hate that, dude.
Yeah.
But
so with Jericho, he's not.
Go ahead.
And what was the quote I always said for years? Whenever somebody does a dive.
And you say it a lot watching the shows together. Save the dives.
Yeah, save them. Like, we don't need to see this every time in a match. Like, I just watched, for example, like Javon Evans on Raw.
Yeah, there was a spot. He wrestled Kofi Kingston on Raw this past Monday night. There was a spot. He does a running through the ropes dive, right? This guy, Javon Evans, lands on his. It's like he lands so hard like this on like the end of the stage, steel gray metal ramp. Like, I thought this guy was gonna get a shoulder injury, a concussion, or break his damn neck, and it looked scary when how he landed, dude. I cringed when I seen that spot. It's like, if Javon Evans is not careful one of these days, he's gonna end up breaking his fucking neck or not have a long career. If he wants a long career, yes, he's in his early 20s. He calls himself bouncy, but he can't be doing this for the majority of your career. And if you want to have a long career, like, you're not gonna have a long career by doing the stuff you're doing. I mean, it's okay to do it now, but it's like, you do this for most of your career, you're going to retire by like 35, 40 years old.
Yeah.
From wrestling.
Like he was like 2 inches. Like,
go ahead.
Had he been 2 inches wrong or 3 inches, he might have fucking had a concussion or broke his neck.
Or hurt his shoulder pretty bad. Either one of the three.
Like,
just watching the spot, it looked really scary. And Javon Evans could have really hurt himself bad. And right in the middle of WrestleMania season, and if there's plans for WrestleMania, I don't know if there is. We don't know. We don't work for the company, but it's like, to get injured before WrestleMania during the middle of Mania season, that's the worst fucking time to get hurt.
And you're in the middle of WrestleMania season. You may challenge for the Intercontinental Championship.
And the guy just got called up to the main roster as well. That's even more worse.
Yeah, like, you don't need to do this. Like, this is so dumb.
Yeah. Like, I know Javon Evans calls himself, or he says your boy is bouncy in his entrance music. He is bouncy, but it's like, if the kid wants a long career in this business, at some point he's got to slow it down out there and just like he's got to tone it down and slow it down.
Maybe he was too bouncy doing the dive.
Not about to say tone it down, but it's like going a little bit too fast. Just like he's going like 150% speed. He's got to tad that down just a little bit.
Yeah. He's gonna have to take it easy. He's gonna have to take it easy. But hopefully he was okay.
I agree. But Jericho isn't wrong what he said here at all.
Yeah, he also said that he still has a few years left in his career.
Okay, so then why is Tony Khan not brought him back?
Yeah, I have no idea. Does he know that he's out?
I don't fucking know. And apparently, like we mentioned here on the podcast a while ago, that Tony Khan froze Chris Jericho's contract, or maybe Jericho asked for time off, and that's when Tony froze his deal. Who knows? But
but it's just a bizarre situation with Jericho. Like he says, he has a year, maybe 2 years left.
Or is someone that's paid off by Tony Khan and AEW hiding the actual truth? Which would not surprise me, by the way, if Sapp and Meltzer and Alvarez hide the truth because they're paid and bought off by Tony Khan, and they're trying to hide the actual truth. Would that shock me? Absolutely not.
No.
Because the mainstream wrestling dirt sheets and media tend to lie more times than not these days. It's like you can't really trust the dirt sheets much these days anymore. They're all corrupt, like you said. Yeah. They fucking lie and spread bullshit. And they just love to hide the actual truth. They don't really tell you the actual truth because they're being paid off by Tony and Tony's daddy's wallet.
Exactly.
That's all this is. But it's a very weird situation with Chris Jericho and his AEW status, dude. But he's not wrong at all what he said here and what he said here about the what he said in this report here. Exactly. Tell Jericho when he's telling lies. He's not.
He's not.
Tony probably get his feelings hurt, but who cares?
Honestly, I don't think we see Jericho get on AEW television. I think we've already stated it.
Yeah. There's no Tony, like, and I see people, Chris Jericho returns in Toronto at AEW Dynasty. I would be shocked if he does.
I'll be surprised if we see Jericho again on television.
Yeah. And there's nothing left for Chris Jericho on AEW TV, so what's even the point?
Literally.
We mentioned Chris Jericho and his AEW status being weird. We might as well mention Toni Storm's AEW status being weird. Apparently, she said she is set to miss the rest of AEW TV throughout the rest of 2026. What this means, I don't know. Is she pregnant? I don't think she's injured. Is it creative? We don't know what's going on. But I will say this. If it's creative, timeless Toni Storm has not been the same since the past year. Revolution last year, she wrestled Mariah May, now Blake Monroe in NXT, wrestled Mariah May in a Hollywood ending for the AEW Women's World title at Revolution in 2025 last year. And then you look at Toni Storm a year later, 2026 now, and she's with the conglomeration feuding with the fucking Death Riders. And she's wrestling Marina Shafir. Like, what the hell is that? It's almost like how the mighty have fallen with Toni Storm. Like, I don't know how you have Toni Storm go from what she did last year to this year. Honestly. And if you ask me, guys, it's a shame. It's a shame how far and how far down Toni Storm has fallen. And it sucks. It sucks because she's one of your biggest names on that AEW roster. And just they have her a year later feud with like Marina Shafir and the Death Riders that no one gives two shits about. And they have Ronda Rousey show up at Revolution. And by the way, they're saying now Ronda Rousey's AEW appearance at Revolution was a one-off. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
But I want to get your thoughts on this Toni Storm situation, dude. Do you think she's pregnant? Do you think she's injured? Which I don't think she is. Is it creative? What do you think it is?
I don't think it's a matter of injury or even creative. I mean, she's one of your top stars. She's basically the star of that division. Let's be real here. It's like I don't know what it is. Like, is she? It's honestly it's either two things. It's either a pregnancy or she's injured, or she's been like battling injuries and she had to be off of television ASAP.
Now, if she's pregnant, what does it take? Like what? At most 8-9 months.
Yeah, 9 months.
Maybe she is pregnant.
Yeah, this would explain why it's been said that she will miss the remainder of 2026.
It would most likely be back around the beginning of next year, 2027. Maybe Toni Storm is pregnant. Who knows?
Yeah.
So if she's pregnant, it would make sense for her to have the rest of the year off. It would make sense.
Exactly.
But we'll see. But anything happens with Toni Storm if she's pregnant or what's the update on Toni Storm is, we will keep you guys posted. But that is a big blow with her off AEW TV the rest of 2026. That's a big blow to that women's division at AEW. And I see people, this is a perfect opportunity to bring Britt Baker back to AEW TV. I doubt it. Not a chance.
Yeah.
If Britt Baker was off TV all of last year, Britt Baker's never coming back to AEW TV. And most likely she'll be under AEW, and most likely she'll be out of there when her contract's up. Tony Khan ain't bringing Britt Baker back. No
Toni Storm.
But Tony Khan, he ain't bringing Dr. DMD back. He's not.
Yeah.
All because she said to Serena Deeb on Dynamite in late 2024, nobody cares, which I don't think Britt was wrong. Because who the fuck cared about Serena Deeb in 2024, late 2024? Not me. Like Serena Deeb wasn't on TV. Like, actually, what was the last time she won a match? And Tony Khan would have her off TV for ages. Really, who cared about, like, not many people much cared about Serena Deeb in late 2024 because she was not booked consistently by Tony on TV. And then Tony Khan sends Britt to Guantanamo Bay because Tony Khan got his feelings hurt because he needs to hear everything is great about AEW. You can't say anything critical or bad about AEW. Everything's great in AEW. Everything's great. Like, you know that Frosted Flakes commercial with Tony the Tiger? They're great.
Yeah.
That's what Tony Khan wants to hear. Everything is great in AEW. He wants to hear no negativity in AEW. Like, he can't take fucking constructive criticism when clearly his AEW product is fucking trash. Especially the Dynamite we got last night and then last week's Dynamite. Last week's Dynamite and last night's Dynamite, two of the worst Dynamites of 2026, dude. Two of the worst. Awful. Awful. But speaking of Dynamite, we might as well actually start with Dynamite last night, bro.
Oh my god.
Hold on, before you know how we used to do when we watched Raw together during the pandemic and the drinks during the bad Raws during the Vince era? Yeah. Excuse me while I'll take a drink. Damn, that felt good. Before Adam,
that felt fantastic.
Absolutely. And then Wesley Stover says, "Hi, Nick and Adam. What's up, Wesley? Make sure you hit the like on the video and share out the stream. Would be greatly appreciated, my brother." But Adam Carl, last night's AEW Dynamite. Holy fuck! What the hell did I watch last night? What the hell did we watch last night? Last week's Dynamite, one of the worst. Last week's Dynamite, the worst Dynamite of 2026. Last night's Dynamite felt like, oh, how do we top ourselves even worse than the last week? Oh, let's put on the show we put on last night.
Oh my god. This was a horrible show.
Awful. Kenny Omega and Swerve Strickland opened the show. Great match. Omega winning, which made sense. After that, the show went down from there. And we had Darby Allin and Rush main event Dynamite last night. Exciting?
Exciting, yeah. Said nobody, yeah.
Oh, but it's Darby Allin, who's great. It's Rush, who's great. What are you complaining about? Why are you guys complaining about that main eventing Dynamite last night?
It had no story. There was no build-up.
Oh, and Darby Allin last night in that main event won, by the way, with a jackknife. Not the coffin drop, not a finisher. No, a jackknife pinning combo. A bridge combo.
And that's exactly how he won.
And then when the match ended in the jackknife roll-up, yeah, at that point, I just shut the show off right then and there. What a god-awful show last night.
Oh my god. This was your main event, by the way, for AW Dynamite. Rouge and Darby Allin.
We had the conglomeration versus the dogs. Yeah, I changed the channel on that, by the way.
Yeah, rematch.
Yeah. Thekla defending the women's world title against Mina. You knew who was winning, and it wasn't going to be Mina. And Thekla predictably won. Yeah. Predictable. Garbage. I like Thekla and Mina, but it's like you knew who was winning, you knew who was losing. So what was even the point? It's like why even book the match at that point? Just a waste of time.
Like Thekla just won the championship last month.
You're not gonna have her win it and then to immediately take it off of her. That's stupid.
Like literally.
And speaking of Thekla, this is not really new. She re-signed a new deal with AEW. Not really new. She's the women's champion. She wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah. Like she's the champion. Where was she going?
Yeah, not going to WWE anytime soon. I think she may have signed for maybe a couple years, probably. She signed last year. Maybe it was a 1-year contract and give her an option of like 2 to 3 years.
Most likely.
So maybe her contract's not up till 2028, 2029, probably.
Probably.
But
I'm surprised though that this was a shorter deal because AEW they don't offer 1 or 2 year contracts. At least as the first deal. It's very rare.
yeah.
But she's the champion. Where was she going?
Exactly. So, I mean, it's the right move. You keep her at the end of the day. We also got on Dynamite last night, Skyflight with Christopher Daniels versus the Death Riders with Pac and Wheeler Useless in a mixed trios match.
I think you meant to say Danny Garcia.
Oh, Danny Garcia. Yes, thank you.
There's no difference.
Yeah.
No difference.
A mixed trios match. Yeah.
Yeah,
what the fuck are they doing with Jon Moxley, bro?
Oh my god. This is the best they have for him. Top Flight.
Oh, but Top Flight are AEW originals. Respect them.
What have they done in this company the last few years?
Fuck off. That's what they've done.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Skyflight and Zeta Steel was in this mixed trios match, and the Death Riders won. Predictable garbage. Moving on. Speedball Mike Bailey. You guys are gonna love this one. Speedball Mike Bailey versus the Don Callis families. Do my little drum roll. Rocky Romero.
Yay. Yay.
Why? Why
fucking
are we getting this? And Speedball won, by the way. Who asked for this, by the way? It was certainly not me.
It was not me either. Like, this is who you're booking on that. We had Rocky Romero on this show. Rocky Romero has a match on Dynamite, but not Willow Nightingale.
Awful. We also had MJF cutting a promo, which was nice, but holy shit. Imagine if MJF was not world champion on this show, bro.
No. It'll probably be worse.
Also on Dynamite, we got the Dogs, like I mentioned, versus the Conglomeration, and the Dogs won.
Yay! Moving on.
Yeah.
Why are we still doing these? What is it with AEW and their rematches? Dogs of the Conglomeration. Toni or Mina against Marina.
And then, like we said, Darby Allin and Roosh with La Faction and Gobernable in a no count-out match. And Darby Allin won. Oh, and apparently this happened after the match. We shut it off before this even happened. Post-match, Mark Davis appeared and delivered a piledriver to Darby on the entrance ramp.
Yeah.
As Don Callis,
Don
Andrade,
Callis fan.
Lance Archer, Rocky Romero, and the Don Callis family join him, and Trent Beretta. Then they said,
Don-
and then as Andrade tries to understand why Callis agreed to be paid by MJF to take out Darby for him, Romero, Beretta, Davis, and Archer beat down Allen in the ring, and then the Don Callis family stands tall as the show then goes off the air. Oh, and then like we mentioned with the opening of Dynamite last night, Kenny Omega and Swerve opened the show. The only good thing of the show, and Omega won rightfully. But last night's Dynamite, terrible, terrible, terrible fucking show.
You had Swerve Strickland and Kenny Omega, mind you, which was the biggest match on this show. The one match that people were looking forward to. The one thing people were looking forward to on the show, and you opened it. Like, why wasn't that the main event?
Yeah.
Like, you could book Swerve and Omega.
But no, that's too logical for Tony Khan, right? Oh, we can't do that. We
Bro,
gotta have the dogs involved close to the main event. We need to have Darby and Roosh that there's no story nobody gives a fuck about. We need to have the Don Callis family main event Dynamite.
Oh my god, yeah, as if because when I think of exciting television, I think of Rocky Romero.
And they were all over this show, dude.
Literally. You
Then,
mean like, bro, this
at
is
least
you
two
mean to
segments
tell me
on
you
the
could
show?
book. You couldn't book and Swerve close, have Kenny win. He gets confronted by MJF, and that's your show opening, your show closing image. Kenny and MJF staring off.
We didn't even get Cope and Christian on this. Adam Copeland and Christian on this show.
I think they were backstage. I think.
But the week,
But,
but Dynamite last week, not last night, but the previous week, coming the Dynamite after Revolution this year. Not many people on that show, and that show was one of the worst.
Literally.
Last night's Dynamite, like it seemed like Tony Khan was like, and Will Washington and RJ City, oh, how do we make this week's Dynamite worse than last week's Dynamite? Oh, what do we do for Dynamite last night? Let's do Speedball Mike Bailey. Let's put him in a match. Who do we have him face? Was Rocky Romero. Let's book it. Darby Allin.
Yeah.
Let's book him in the main event. Let's do Darby Allin in the main event versus what does it say? Roosh. Let's book it.
Yeah. It was like Tony Khan. He was throwing darts at the wall to see what stuck.
Terrible.
God, what an
Even if you're an AEW fan or a sicko, I don't know how you can sit here and defend the show we got last night.
Literally, this was abhorrent.
I actually hope they go down in the ratings this week.
Especially with the MLB game.
Yeah, they had a really good New York Yankees and San Francisco Giants MLB game last night on Netflix, by the way. It's the first MLB game of this year's MLB season. The Yankees actually dominated the Giants, by the way, 7-0, and the Yankees actually won. So good on the Yankees, man. They're my team.
Yeah, 17-0 may as well have been.
But they were 7-0, but the Yankees just dominated, bro. I watched some of that during Dynamite. That was a lot more entertaining than last night's Dynamite. It felt like last night's Dynamite, they didn't even try. And they probably know they're going to get crushed by the MLB game from last night. And it's like they didn't even try to at least like be even with the MLB. It's like Tony Khan didn't even try. Like with these predictable matches, like who cares? Like Mina and Thekla, you know who's winning. So it's like, why even book the match? Darby and Roosh, no story. Who cares? Like, why book the match? And other stuff that didn't make sense on the show, predictable trash, like just a waste of time. Oh, what would you do? I don't know. Don't book the match.
Exactly. Don't book it. Like, who wanted to see Darby versus Roosh? Who wanted to see Skyflight and Zeta Steel against the Death Riders?
Yeah, and Skyflight was at the Darius Martin. I forgot they were even employed.
Clearly. Yeah, that's unforgettable,
man. It's like they didn't even put in an effort to at least try to at least be competing even with the MLB last night. They didn't even try. And most likely than not, they are probably going to get crushed in this week's numbers by the MLB baseball game. They're most likely going to get crushed by that. So now the MLB season's back. And now they're on Wednesday? Some nights on Wednesday nights during the MLB season. Now so now with the MLB season, and it's like now MLB season, like you know how Raw when Vince was in charge always getting crushed by Monday Night Football? Yeah. Now AEW Dynamite on Wednesdays with MLB season with MLB just crushing them. Yeah, that.
Yeah, they're gonna get destroyed.
And everyone and a lot of people are talking about the Yankees and the Giants apparently. So the good chance they do get a bigger rating than Dynamite this week. And the show we got last night on Dynamite, bro, I hope they get a low rating this week than the last week. I do. Because I want them to fucking wake up. This was terrible what we got on Dynamite last night. Again, you can be an AEW fan and even see how last night's Dynamite was not that good at all. Just like last week. Seriously.
And the next week's Dynamite is going to be the April Fool. It's going to be on April Fool's Day.
Hey, guess what, everyone? AEW Dynamite next week is guaranteed to be great next week. April Fool. Yeah, April Fool's Day. Yeah, we look like fools watching Dynamite on Wednesday nights.
Yeah. What a terrible show that was.
Speaking of AEW, might as well stick to the AEW stuff. You know AEW is bad. You know Dean Malenko works still with AEW, right, as an agent?
Yeah.
You know AEW is bad when they can't even get Dean Malenko's daughter, as apparently Marie Malenko, this Dean Malenko's daughter, is apparently now signed with WWE. So good for her. Good for her. What do you think on this, man?
Yeah, good for her.
You know, I think I see Marie Malenko wrestle a little bit on the indies in Japan, I think.
Yeah.
I believe, but she could have easily went to AEW where her dad works, but we all thought David Finlay, the son of Fit Finlay, would go to WWE, leaving New Japan. But now it's like the tides change and the tables turn, and now David Finlay's with AEW and the Dogs, and then Marie Malenko's now in WWE and probably going to be on Evolve or NXT or WWE ID or whatnot. But I will say, I mean, being the daughter of Dean Malenko and having that wrestling in her blood, I do expect Marie Malenko to succeed in WWE, and happy for her. And I think Marie Malenko, how old is she? Hold on. Let me look up Marie Malenko's age. She's got to be young. It doesn't say her age, but she's probably like what in her probably like in her 20s or whatnot, but
probably in her 20s.
Yeah. So they have that youth that WWE looks for. I would assume maybe she's in WWE ID or she starts in Evolve or NXT. Probably.
I think she starts on Evolve. She's just getting started.
Yeah. I would say Evolve is the better bet, honestly. Now that Kendall Gray's now in NXT full-time, they got Nikita Lyons, they got PJ Vasa, who has potential but has work to do. They got Wendy Chu over there. They got Lainey Luck, I think it is. Over there, Lainey Luck and Evolve. So Evolve could probably use someone like Marie Malenko, some veteran experience with her coming from wrestling family. So I am happy for her. I wish Marie Malenko all the good luck, best luck in the world and nothing but the best. And it tells you something that she would choose WWE over AEW where her father works. It honestly says something about AEW.
The multiverse. We got the Fit Philly's son over on AEW, and we got the Dean Malenko's daughter over at WWE. It's like the multiverse.
It's like didn't they switch their kids something? Fit Finlay and Dean Malenko.
Yeah, probably.
You know, but I mean, good for Marie Malenko. I mean, happy for her. Hope she succeeds.
Yeah, wish her the best.
Yeah. Might as well continue the AEW talk. Might as well talk about this. And he's in the thumbnail. Good old Trevor Manor, good old buddy Ricochet.
Yeah, he is. He's making the headlines.
Yeah,
for the
making
wrong
the headlines,
reasons.
not for the right reasons, by the way. I might as well actually pull it up here if I can find the article. It's here. Oh, here we go. So an AEW producer was a friend, apparently, of Ricochet, who told Ricochet to delete the tweet that replied to someone saying, "I'm glad you have MS." And no, this is not good heel heat for Ricochet, by the way. Some idiots, oh, this is good heel heat. Oh, this being a good heel. No, that's being an asshole. Replying to someone saying, "I'm glad you have MS."
Yeah, that's being a dickhead.
It's like, oh, I'm glad you have MS. Like, fuck off, dude. Seriously. So it was AEW producer. Listen to this. AEW producer Chris Hero. He was apparently the one identified as the friend who contacted Trevor Mann, Ricochet, and advised him to take down his MS tweet. And this is according to Fightful Select. Now, Fightful reported that those within AEW confirmed that Hero reached out to Ricochet following the controversial post, the MS tweet, and advised Ricochet to take down the tweet, and it ultimately led to the tweet being taken down ultimately, and an apology issued. Chris Hero was also served as an AEW producer since the summer of 2023 and has a long-standing friendship with Ricochet that dates back decades to their time working together on the independent wrestling scene. Ricochet's tweet was also directed at a fan named Sandy, who had criticized his acting abilities on X, which she wasn't wrong, that Ricochet is awful on the mic. He sucks on the mic. Great wrestler, but he sucks as a promo.
Yeah.
And then the fan's bio, Sandy's bio, mentioned that she was trying not to let MS control her life, and Ricochet's response expressed that he was glad she had the MS condition. Then the post remained live for a period before being deleted following Chris Hero's intervention, telling Ricochet to take down the tweet. Ricochet then later issued a formal apology, quote, "I took out my hatred for the IWC on Sandy and inadvertently others who are affected by MS. She didn't deserve it, and for that, I sincerely apologize. Moving forward, I'll do better." And then it was previously reported by Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer of the Wrestling Observer Radio, and then Sean Ross Sapp, good old sappy boy, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select, that neither AEW nor Warner Brothers Discovery forced Ricochet to apologize, with the decision coming entirely from Ricochet himself, following Chris Hero's advice. AEW officials did tell Ricochet after the apology was issued that it was the right thing to do. The incident drew significant mainstream media coverage, being picked up by outlets including TMZ, Yahoo Sports, Forbes, and others. Ricochet did not appear for the post-Revolution edition of Dynamite and was also absent from the Collision Slam Dunk tapings in Fresno, California, though it is unclear whether those absences were related to the controversy or simply the result of not being booked. So let me get this straight. So Chris Hero, a guy who has no power as a higher up or in charge of AEW, is telling Ricochet to take down this tweet. Where is Tony Khan to tell Ricochet, Trevor Mann, listen, Ricochet, don't do this tweet. This is not a good look. Please take it down. Okay, please, thank you. Where's Tony Khan to handle this? Isn't he the boss? Like, I didn't know Chris Hero was in charge of AEW. Did you?
I didn't know.
Like, why is Chris Hero being sent by Tony Khan to do Tony's dirty laundry? Why does Chris Hero have to handle this and not Tony Khan? I don't understand that.
Why does Tony Khan want to take the heat off himself?
Probably because he needs scapegoats. And if this happens again with Ricochet, Is Tony Khan going to blame himself? Of course not. He won't. You'll blame Chris Hero. You know, Vince McMahon needed scapegoats like Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff. Remember when Heyman and Bischoff were named executive directors individually of Raw and SmackDown? Remember that 7 years ago, bro?
Yeah, that was an exciting time. And then within a year, neither of them were in their positions.
Like, Bischoff was fired after what? A couple weeks?
Yeah.
After,
He was fired in September?
October. As soon as SmackDown started on Fox, the first SmackDown Fox drew like what, 4 million viewers, and then the next week they lost half their audience and the ratings fucking plummeted. And Vince blamed Bischoff for that, and he got rid of him and replaced him with Bruce Pritchard. Remember?
Yeah, our good old pal Bruce.
Yeah, cool. I still want to know why he's still there and has a job there.
Yeah,
even with Vince no longer there.
Beats me.
And then Paul Heyman was the Raw executive director for a year. He got pulled after 1 year and replaced him with Bruce Pritchard. A guy who doesn't argue Vince McMahon, by the way, who's nothing but Vince McMahon 2.0, a big Vince McMahon yes man. So Tony Khan, like, oh, well, Triple H, Paul Levesque is like Vince McMahon. No, Tony Khan is like Vince McMahon. He needs scapegoats because he can never blame himself. He needs someone to take the heat off himself and place the blame on someone else. And no doubt in my mind, I think Chris Hero's a scapegoat in this thing. You think?
Like, honestly, for real.
Like, why does Chris Hero, like, Tony Khan isn't handling this? Where's Tony Khan to handle this Ricochet situation? Why does Chris Hero have to handle it? He's not even the boss or a higher up in AEW.
He has no power in this company. He has no power. He's not like Moxley or Jericho.
Well, what do you want Tony Khan to do then? Oh, I don't know. Be the damn boss and put Ricochet in his place.
Handle it.
Yeah. Sit him down, pull him to the side and say, hey, Trevor, man, what the hell are you doing? You're embarrassing me and my company. And why are you putting this tweet out? I got to be honest with you, Ricochet. This is not cool. Take this down now or there will be consequences. That's what Tony should have done, but he didn't.
Like,
where is Tony Khan to handle this?
Like Chris Hero doesn't even, he's not a Jericho or a Moxley or a Bryan or a Punk or Bucks, Omega, Cody, guys like that. Like he's not like guys, you know, who have power in this company or had power in the company. Like who is Chris Hero in comparison to these guys?
He's like a nobody compared to them.
Yeah. Like why is he the one handling it? Like, what does this have to do with him? I mean, respect to Chris Hero. I mean, respect to Chris Hero for, you know, being a stand-up guy, doing what was right. But why does he have to do this? Shouldn't Tony Khan be the one doing it?
Yeah. And then Sapp and Meltzer. I don't know how you feel. Am I the only one that feels like, and I've been feeling this with this report, somewhere, somehow, the truth is being hidden. And I think, and Sapp and Meltzer are clearly trying to cover it because they're apparently paid and bought AEW shills by AEW with Tony Khan. And they can't say anything bad or critical about Tony Khan and AEW, or Tony Khan will Benoit them or blackball them or take away their media scrum passes because Tony wants to hear everything is great about AEW. And he blackballs you because he don't like what you said about anything critical about AEW, and he wants to hear everything is great about AEW, which clearly not AEW is not great. And Tony Khan doesn't want to hear the negativity; he wants to hear all positive. And Meltzer and Sapp have to kiss Tony's ass, or else they get their media passes taken away from them, and they don't get invited to the media scrums anymore. You know, those cringy scrums where they ask stupid questions. You know?
Yeah.
Sapp and Meltzer have to be hiding the truth somewhere. And then they say, oh, Ricochet apologized. And you do realize with this Ricochet MS tweet, you know, Sapp wasn't immediately reporting this. And then when Ricochet's apology, Sapp's like, oh, everything is good in the world. So Ricochet apologized. All is good in the world.
Yeah. Let's go back to our offices and then take a nap. Yeah, let's go to sleep.
Their thoughts on this whole, do you think Sapp and Meltzer are hiding the truth of this dude regarding this Ricochet MS tweet? And apparently Ricochet did apologize. It said he'd do better next time.
Well, he better.
I hope
Better
so.
if he actually needs it.
But it's really sad how just it goes to show that the leadership in AEW is completely non-existent. Inmates run the asylum in AEW, dude. There is no leadership in that AEW company whatsoever. Like, imagine if Ricochet tried this, like how Ricochet is on social media. Would you ever see Ricochet like this on social media if he was in WWE under Paul Levesque? No.
Paul
No.
Levesque is actually a leader.
Yeah, he may be a nice guy, but don't push his buttons. And he's actually a boss, unlike Tony Khan. He's not perfect, but unlike Tony Khan, Paul Levesque's an actual fucking boss. And imagine if Ricochet, how he's like this on social media these days. Do you really think he'd get away with this shit under Triple H and WWE?
No, he won't.
He'd probably get fired, or though I don't call anyone to lose their job, but if you imagine he tried this in WWE, Triple H would immediately put him in his place and sit him down and squash any beef. He would punish him. He would sit him down and say, look, Ricochet, this is not okay, and I got to punish you. That's what would happen. You like Ricochet was nothing like this when he was in WWE. And ever since he's left to go to AEW, he's been nothing but a bitch on social media. Like, it's like, take the phone away from him.
Literally.
And his wife Samantha
Clearly
Urban's
doesn't know how to speak.
And his wife Samantha Urban's no better. She's just as bad as him on social media. After WWE did a lot for her, and this is how she repays them. Seriously.
Well, in defense of Samantha, in her defense, she got death threats when Ricochet made the MS.
Yeah, the
tweet.
death threats to Samantha, I don't agree with, man. Those that are sending death threats to Samantha, fuck off.
Literally.
That I don't agree with at all. But Ricochet, man, the guy needs help. He needs help.
Like, why is it Chris Hero again, Cassius Ohno? Why is he the one stepping in when he has no power in this company? Like, does Tony not want to take the heat? Does he not want to take responsibility?
It's as if Tony doesn't take the responsibility of being a boss seriously. And if Chris Hero has to handle this Ricochet situation and not Tony Khan, this almost reminds me of the Jack Perry Real Glass incident. Remember when Jack Perry was taking shots at CM Punk, Real Glass, Cry Me a River, and CM Punk, so he was on Ariel Helwani's show 2 years ago, and he told Ariel that, CM Punk went to Tony when the day Jack Perry when he wanted to use Real Glass, and he was told no by a doctor, and Tony Schiavone, a couple others, told Jack Perry no, not to use Real Glass, and then Jack Perry was cussing them out. Then CM Punk had to step in and tell Jack Perry no. And then Jack Perry's like, okay, but then behind Punk's back, Jack Perry, after CM Punk tells him no about Real Glass, Jack Perry uses the Real Glass anyway at Wembley Stadium at All In 2023. Jack Perry's yelling, taking shots at CM Punk, Real Glass, go cry me a river. And he gets slammed on Real Glass anyway after Punk had told him no. And then CM Punk goes to Tony Khan and tells Tony, hey, please handle that. And then Tony goes, oh, what do you want me to do? I don't know, Tony. Be the fucking boss and put Jack Perry in his place, smack him around a little bit, and put the guy in his damn place. I mean, is that hard, Tony? And then Punk told Tony, please handle it, because if you don't, I will. And if I handle it, you're not going to like the way how I handle it. And Tony didn't handle it. And you see CM Punk shoving Jack Perry, putting him in the headlock and quitting AEW. Remember that?
He had Samoa Joe. He was the guy who separated Punk and Perry.
They had the fight, and he told Punk to stop, which he did. And then Punk was yelling at Tony that he quit AEW. And then the infamous after that, Tony Khan said he feared for his life.
Like, literally, why do the wrestlers make more sense? Why do the people there make more sense, yet the guy who was in charge doesn't?
If you're the boss of AEW and you're not even taking the responsibility of being a boss seriously, and you're having other wrestlers do your work for you and handling the responsibility of being a leader and not you, at that point, I gotta question you as the boss of AEW. Maybe you shouldn't be the boss or owner of AEW at all. Maybe you should step down and give someone the role who's going to treat the role with respect and take the role seriously and actually be a better boss than you. Because clearly, Tony, you suck as a boss. You are not a boss. Tony Khan is more of a friend than he is a boss. And those are facts. Like, if you're not handling a Ricochet MS tweet situation, you're having others like a disciplinary committee or having others do your work for you, you should not be the boss of a professional wrestling company or any company in general. Like, if you're a boss of any company, right? Like, I say you're a boss of any company. It doesn't have to be just like a wrestling company. Any company out there in general, you're the boss, right? You're the employer. Shouldn't you be taking the responsibility and the reins of handling like any drama, make sure things run smoothly? Like, if you can't do that, I question you as the boss at that point. At that point, you should be nowhere near a boss position.
Like,
and Tony Khan clearly is not a boss. Honestly, like, if you're not going to handle an MS tweet from Ricochet situation, you didn't handle a Jack Perry Real Glass situation 2 years ago. And you're not handling an MS tweet from Ricochet situation, like, you should step down as the AEW owner and boss at that point. Unbelievable, man. Absolutely unbelievable.
I mean, again, respect to Chris Hero. I mean, he's a real man. It's like, he should be the one doing it.
It just blows my mind. Like, Chris Hero doesn't own or run the company, yet he's handling the situation. And when Tony Khan should be, he's the owner. Step in and put Ricochet in his place. Like step in and handle this before it gets out of hand. Like, it's like any beef, squash it. Like, what
clearly,
are we doing
why
here?
do the wrestlers need to do it themselves now? In terms of with the Pug Perry thing, no. Like, no, I don't think Pug should have assaulted Jack Perry. I don't think he should have laid his hands on him. Could have handled
that I
it way
agree
better.
with, but Tony should have handled it.
But yeah, I think he could have handled it. He should have handled it way differently. Now that I can agree with. Because, like, why does he have to be the one doing it? Like, where is the boss to handle it?
And Tony
why did
the
talent feel like? Why did the talent or the producer in this case, Chris Hero, why did they feel the need to do it, and think it was the right thing to do? Like, why do they feel the need to do it? Like, it should come to this point where the talent themselves or the people working there backstage feel the need that they have to do the boss's work for him.
And again, would you ever see this in WWE under the leadership of Paul Levesque, Triple H, like you see in AEW? Like, do you think Ricochet with an MS tweet, do you really genuinely think he would get away with this kind of bullshit under Triple H? Fuck no. Fuck no, because everybody respects Triple H and he's a boss. Like, with this Ricochet MS tweet, it would never even get to that point if Ricochet was under Triple H. It's like, at this point with Tony Khan, it's like, at that point, you're just letting the wound fucking fester and get more and more worse and infected more and more and more. Like, at that point, you're just letting the fire flame just grow even bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, you're not even putting it out right then and there. You're just letting it grow and even bigger at that point. Awful. Awful, awful, awful. Like, Ricochet was actually on his good behavior in WWE. I mean, say what you want about his main roster run, a lot to be desired. He was good with his NXT Black and Gold run under Triple H. Those are facts. But at least when he was in WWE, he stood out from everybody else, where there's like 7 to 10 Ricochets in AEW. There's not really many in WWE, but it's like, at least also in WWE, he was actually on his best behavior. You would never see Ricochet act like this on social media if he was under Triple H and WWE in his leadership. Never. Because WWE is an actual real company. They're professionals. You know, even if a wrestler on the WWE roster wanted to say something that was out of line, like, even if they put up a tweet, like, not even a minute, it would immediately be told to take it down. Like, there's like a social media team that works with WWE, right? If there's something, say you're a wrestler in WWE, you tweet something on X you shouldn't tweet if you're a WWE roster member as a wrestler. And there's like a social media WWE management team that immediately calls you seconds after you put it up. And they call you, hey, can you take the tweet down, please? This is not okay. Take the tweet down now, please. Yes, thank you. And they do it because there's real leadership in WWE. AEW, no leadership whatsoever. Inmates run the fucking asylum there.
You got the guy who should be handling it, he's not, but the guy who has no power is the one who's handling it. Like, make that shit make sense.
Yeah. That
Like, does
doesn't
Tony
show
not
you-
want to take the blame? Like, bro, everybody's blaming you anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
you're the one who allowed this to happen to begin with.
well, bosses can't be wrong. Bullshit. Bullshit.
No, they are wrong. Yeah, because Chris Hero, he has so much power in this company that Tony Khan is so powerless to do anything. It's those people beneath him.
And to many people,
No, he
who the
can't
hell
be
is
wrong.
and to many people, dude, who the hell is a Chris Hero?
Like, literally, like, who is he? Like all he is what? The Kings of Wrestling with Cesaro? Claudio?
Yeah.
And even that Claudio's, I mean, no hate to Chris Hero, like, Claudio's had the more successful career of the two. Like,
Yeah.
who is he? All he is like Cassius Ono. Like, who is he? No hate to the guy. Like, who is Chris Hero? Like, what kind of position does he hold? Like, all he is a producer. He doesn't run creative. He doesn't run social media.
He doesn't run creative or run the company.
Like, he doesn't even wrestle.
No.
Yeah, but no, the boss, let's send, the legal team, let's send Chris Hero out there because God forbid I'm wrong.
Let's send the disciplinary committee out there. Have them handle the drama. Because I want nothing to
God
do with
forbid
it.
I'm wrong.
It's like Tony Khan may be a nice guy, but he sucks as a leader. Like, he's more of a fan and a mark and a buddy and a friend than he is a boss. At this point, why is he even a boss?
Like, literally, why isn't Daniel Bryan in charge of AEW at this point?
Yeah,
Like,
Bryan
why-
Danielson. Yeah.
Like, why isn't he the one running AEW? Like, Bryan Danielson's respected, and he's liked.
Everybody respects him. I mean, he's a nice guy, but don't push his buttons either.
Like, why isn't he the one running AEW? Or Samoa Joe or John Moxley? Like, why aren't guys like that running the shit? I'm not saying creative. I'm not saying run creative per se. I don't know what type of ideas they may have, but it's like they would damn sure run this. They would damn sure be better leaders than Tony Khan is.
It'd probably be a lot better under them than Tony Khan, to be honest with you.
Literally.
But speaking of Tony Khan, remember when WWE was up for sale in 2023? And by the way, it was never about selling the company. Vince just wanted ultimate power back. Did you know Tony Khan was close to buying WWE in 2023 when Vince McMahon put the company up for sale in 2023 before ultimately being purchased by Endeavor/TKO?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
There's a report on that, by the way. Tony Khan, he tried to buy the WWE apparently in 2023. Now, this is according to Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics and Post Wrestling. He's actually a smart guy. According to a report from Brandon Thurston, a newly redacted court filings from a shareholder lawsuit have revealed for the first time that Tony Khan's company, Base 10, submitted a bid to acquire WWE in 2023 before Endeavor ultimately won the merger that created TKO Group Holdings. The complaint originally filed in Delaware Chancery Court in November 2023 and recently unredacted confirms that Base 10 was among 4 companies that submitted formal offers to acquire WWE following Vince McMahon's return to the company in January 2023, which again was never about selling the company, and Vince bullied his way back in. Although Tony Khan is not mentioned by name in the filing, Base 10 and AEW are both referenced, with the filing stating that Base 10 is the owner of AEW, a professional wrestling promotion that plainly would enjoy significant synergies with WWE. Again, TKO is an Endeavor's favorite word, synergy. Base 10's bid of $76.83 per share was the lowest of the 4 offers by a considerable margin, representing a full company valuation of approximately $6.9 billion. KKR offered between $90 and $97.50 per share, representing a valuation of $8.0 billion to $8.7 billion. Liberty Media bid between $95 and $100 per share, valuing the company at $8.5 billion to $8.9 billion. Endeavor's winning offer was an all-stock deal valued at $95.66 per share before synergies, with WWE investors' shares converting to TKO shares upon closing. TKO's share price currently trades at approximately $200, roughly doubling the bid prices from 2023. The post-deal narrative WWE filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission after the merger was agreed to had anonymized the bidders under pseudonyms. KKR was referenced to as financial sponsor 1, Liberty Media as strategic party 1, and Base 10 as strategic party 2, though their bid prices weren't disclosed and connected to those pseudonyms. Khan's identity as the party behind strategic party 2 is now being made public for the first time through the unredacted filings. The SEC filing also noted that the party now confirmed to be Base 10 indicated it would need equity and debt financing partners in order to complete the transaction with WWE, suggesting the bid lacked the financial backing of the other 3 offers. Base 10's bid did not advance to the data room stage, where the 3 remaining bidders were granted access to non-public information about WWE as part of the standard acquisition process. Florida business records independently confirmed Khan's connection to Base 10. The company was incorporated in 2014 with Khan listed as a sole officer and the company's address as the stadium for the Jacksonville Jaguars, the NFL team his family owns. Obviously, his father, Shad Khan, owning the Jacksonville Jaguars. The plaintiff shareholders alleged that the merger process was unfair and that Endeavor was pre-selected by McMahon because Endeavor's lead executive, Ari Emanuel, assured McMahon's continued role within the merger entity. Again, it was never about a sale of the company. Never. All this was Vince McMahon reclaiming the power he lost back from the summer of 2022 via the Wall Street Journal and trying to sell the company to someone who would be dumb enough to keep Vince McMahon in charge and have Vince be in charge till the day he passed away. Although only for Ari Emanuel to throw Vince McMahon onto the fucking bus. And then the continued report, the defendants denied that allegation. Of course they do. The lawsuit is set to go, and they said the lawsuit is set to go to trial this June. Then they say we then said when reached for a comment, Khan declined to provide a statement. Of course he did.
Because what's he gonna say?
Imagine had Tony Khan bought WWE in 2023. Like he owns AEW, he owns Ring of Honor, then owns WWE.
Oh my god. Wearing too many hats.
3 companies?
And then you added the Jaguars and then Fulham.
Yeah, like working every day of the fucking week almost. Literally. Like with this guy would not fucking sleep.
If he even sleeps. Not even if he sleeps.
And let's be real, would Vince McMahon ever sell to Tony Khan?
No. Let's be factual here. Even if Tony made a bid, did he really think he had a chance?
And Vince McMahon was the one in charge of the whole process of sale. Nothing could happen without him and his say, right? Like I'm sure Comcast would have been the much better option than Endeavor and TKO. But the thing is, the only thing was that they don't want Vince there. And almost every company didn't want Vince in charge of the company was going to be sold. And Vince only sold the company to try and get his power back. Again, it was never about a sale of the company. It never was. Endeavor would have been, and then he sells to Endeavor, his friend Ari Emanuel, who's known for 20 years and done business with him for 20 years. Like Vince thought Ari would be willing enough to keep him in charge. Remember on CNBC when Ari Emanuel was on there with Vince and said, "Oh, I couldn't have done the deal without Vince McMahon. I would have body slammed him." Remember that?
Oh my god, that's dumb. So
Oh, I
stupid.
couldn't have done the deal without Vince McMahon. Yes, you could. The fuck
Yeah,
do you
what
need
the fuck
Vince
did you-
McMahon there for?
Yeah. Yeah, what did you need him for?
And Vince was on there with a silly looking, ridiculous fucking mustache. Look, you know
Yeah.
his fucking Hitler mustache, remember?
Yeah. My God.
And like the only like Vince would have only accepted a sale of the company in 2023 if someone would be willing to keep him in charge to make sure that he's a part of the package deal. Again, it was never about a sale of the company. All this was about was reclaiming ultimate fucking power. To reclaim what he lost back from the Wall Street Journal back in July of 2022. He wanted the power back, and he only sold the company, by the way. And you know how WWE was good under Triple H and Stephanie McMahon in late 2022? And
Yeah.
then Vince bullied his way back in. And you do realize, and I'm going to drop a truth bomb right here, folks. You can clip it right here. Vince McMahon sold the company out of jealousy and spite because he couldn't stand the fact that his son-in-law and his daughter do run the company a lot better than he ever does, and he couldn't fucking take it anymore. So he sells it to his so it's like instead of putting the company in the hand, so it's like instead of putting the company in the hands of his family, people who care about the company, instead of putting in the hands of Stephanie and Triple H, no, he sells it to his friend who is like Vince, who's just like evil like Vince, but worse. He sells it to his friend who he's known for 20 years instead of putting in the hands of his family. It was never about selling the company. Like, if he wanted to sell the company to a company and the company would be willing to not bring him in, yeah, Vince would say immediately no. Comcast didn't even, Comcast I'm sure would have been perfect, better than Endeavor to take WWE, but Comcast didn't want Vince there, rightfully so. So I'm sure Vince told them no. And then Vince wanted to go to Ari, and Ari would be willing to keep him in charge, as Vince would think. Only for, again, Ari to throw Vince under the fucking bus. You know? But it's like Vince sold the company out of jealousy and spite. Because it's like Vince McMahon would be happy if WWE was dead. Like, he would rather kill WWE himself or have someone he knows kill WWE than have it succeed under anyone but him, especially he would rather have WWE dead himself. He would rather kill WWE or have someone he know kill WWE. Vince McMahon would rather that than have the company succeed and flourish under anyone but him, especially like his family running the company better than him. Like, he couldn't stand the fact that Triple H and Stephanie ran the company better than him. So he would rather kill it or have somebody he knows kill it than have it succeed by anyone, especially by his own family. And Vince couldn't stomach it. So Vince merely sold the company out of jealousy and fucking spite. Facts. 100% facts. The company did not need to be sold. The company was just fine the way it was. The company was making record numbers and selling out, breaking new record gates for the right reasons without Endeavor involved, with no Endeavor involved whatsoever. Again, it was never about a sale of the company. The company being sold was not necessary, period. The company was already fine the way it was, and the WWE company was already in good hands under Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Vince McMahon only sold the company to get the power that he lost from the summer of 2022 via the Wall Street Journal. And the only way for him to get the power back was to sell the company to someone who would be willing and stupid enough to keep Vince McMahon in charge and have Vince be in charge till the day he died. Point blank, period. I know I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one who feels this way.
No lies detected. Vince would. You think if this Wall Street Journal thing doesn't come out, this whole Janelle Grant thing doesn't come out, Vince would still be there. Had to be factual.
Yeah, I mean, Ari Emanuel may have knighted Triple H in the fall of 2023, but Vince would have still been there.
Yeah.
Then they got rid of Kevin Dunn, but still Vince was there. You know? And do you really think Vince is going to try and buy back? Am I the only one that thinks Vince will try and buy back WWE and trying to get this Janelle Grant stuff done and out of the way and try and buy back the WWE with the Saudis?
He's probably going to try, but why would TKO sell it back? They took the company from him. Had they forced him out because of this lawsuit.
And even if Vince tries and end this lawsuit and throw money at it, I'm sure there's a lot more sex trafficking allegations against Vince after Janelle Grant, and it's not going to go away. I'm sure there's a lot more than just Janelle Grant. There has to be.
Yeah.
Because Vince did so many NDAs to women in WWE years ago to shut them up. Not just Janelle Grant. Honestly, man. And they're set for trial in June. Like,
yeah.
If you ask me, like, I'm sure you probably feel the same way. Vince McMahon should be in fucking jail. Will he be? I doubt it. But the man just should be in jail.
That should spend the rest of his life behind bars.
Like, he cheated on his wife several times, and he had sexual affairs with women that he wouldn't sign them to contracts or give them a push, and then he used company money to shut them up and had him sign NDAs. Can't say this, can't say anything bad about Vince, and had him absolutely NDA'd. Tried to keep them hush hush. Like, the man should have been let go years ago using company money to shut ladies up.
You have women that he sexually assaulted, that he raped, sex trafficked.
Disgusting. Like I don't know. Is Vince this dumb, or does he think he's higher than fucking God? Thinking that, I'm a billionaire, I can do whatever the fuck I want. I could do this and get away with it. I'm above the law.
Vince McMahon.
What?
I'm the mighty Vince McMahon. I can do no wrong.
Yeah. And didn't this man 3 years ago got a subpoena and a search warrant on him when he went to go get, quote, back surgery?
Yeah.
3 years ago, he got hit with a subpoena and a search warrant.
Yeah, search warrant, grand jury subpoena.
Yeah. Until Vince is dead, I won't be convinced that Vince. I won't be convinced that Vince is not there until Vince is honestly in the ground, because I feel Vince will try and buy the WWE back. I do, which is scary to think about. But Endeavor doesn't even want Vince there. They forced him out. As soon as that Janelle Grant allegations came out in January 2024, they quickly got Vince out of there, man. Quickly. But going back to Tony Khan almost buying WWE in 2023, yeah, that was never going to happen.
Yeah. It would have been terrible if it did.
Like, look at Ring of Honor. He owns Ring of Honor, and Ring of Honor is absolute dog shit, dude. And Tony Khan is like Vince. He can't give power to anyone else because he's afraid someone will do a better job than him. Like, he couldn't have given Scott D'Amore Ring of Honor.
Or Bryan Danielson. Like, Bryan Danielson is familiar with Ring of Honor. Like, why couldn't he be the one in charge?
I don't know, man. But, yeah, like, at the end of the day, Tony Khan buying WWE was never going to be a thing.
Yeah.
And Vince would have never sold it to Tony. Like, and probably to Vince McMahon. Who the hell is a Tony Khan? Who the hell is a Tony Khan? God damn it.
Yeah, that's probably what he would have thought.
But, yeah, Tony Khan buying WWE was never going to be a thing whatsoever. And, again, like I said, it was never about selling the company. The company didn't need to be sold. They were just fine the way they were. But now they're under Endeavor, and now it's like and now the outpricing the average fan and the advertisements and the commercials. Yeah, you can thank Vince McMahon for that because he's the one who sold the company to his friend when the company didn't need to be sold. So with the constant commercials nowadays in WWE, yeah, for the past year, yeah, you can thank Vince McMahon for that. And honestly, if you ask me as well, this is another shoot. Vince McMahon, I feel, sold the company as a big fuck you to his son-in-law and his daughter. I feel like Vince McMahon selling WWE was a big fuck you to Paul Levesque and Stephanie McMahon. Vince doesn't care about his own family. He don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Again, it was never about selling the company. It was about reclaiming what he lost. It was about reclaiming ultimate power. To try and get rid of the people that tried to get rid of him. And try and get ultimate revenge. That's what this whole thing was about. It was never about selling the company, ever. And if you think it was about selling the company, you are dead wrong. You are fucking wrong. Moving on to other topics of today's episode. Yeah, this is not AEW related, I know. But how Vince McMahon's a criminal. Yeah, speaking of criminals, this man apparently found not guilty in a recent in the Mississippi welfare fraud trial, Ted DiBiase Jr. Who?
Yeah, the worst member of Legacy.
With Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton in 2009 on Raw with the Legacy. Remember them? They were all three of them were third generation superstars, right? All their dads wrestled. They're all wrestling royalty, right? Yeah, Ted DiBiase Jr. He says he's got the money. He comes from cash. You know his theme song? I come from money. I come from cash.
What the fuck is that theme music?
That was his 2010 theme song when they broke up Legacy in 2010, 16 years ago. And remember 2010, they tried to push this guy as a single star?
Yeah, that went absolutely nowhere. It was terrible.
And they put his dad, the $1 Million Man, in the Hall of Fame in 2010. Then they broke up Legacy. They give DiBiase Jr. They had him beat guys like Christian on Raw, John Morrison, and have him feud with R-Truth, and he was in the Money in the Bank 2010 for the Raw brand, and I think he was wrestling guys like Mark Henry and Edge, The Miz, and Orton, wrestling Cena. He wrestled Goldust. He wrestled Daniel Bryan in late 2010 over the United States Championship. And they tried to push this guy so hard in 2010, but it went nowhere. It failed.
He sucked. Let's be real. He sucked.
Oh, but he was a tag team champion with Cody Rhodes in 2008 with Priceless pre-Legacy. They were called Priceless.
Yeah. Priceless, yeah.
Yeah, they were Priceless, and then they had Manu with them and Sim Snuka, the former Deuce from Deuce and Domino. Remember them? And Manu? Who?
Jobber.
Yeah. Oh, but DiBiase had the look, and his father wrestled. He had no charisma like his dad did, the $1 Million Man, and his iconic laugh. After he says, "Everybody's got a price."
Go
ahead.
He had none of the talent of his father.
And remember, Ted DiBiase Jr. in 2010 on Raw held the $1 Million title, just like his dad did. They tried to make this guy as a 2.0 version of his dad, but better. Yeah, how well did that work out?
It worked out so spectacularly, bro.
Didn't he also have Virgil as well in 2010? And then he was with Maurice.
Can you imagine being Maurice?
Again, how well did that work out, bro?
It did not.
Oh, but
it was
he wasn't he also with Brodus Clay and Game Show NXT? Yeah, that sucked.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Oh, but then he was with Cody Rhodes on SmackDown in 2011, and when Cody had the paper bag gimmick and wrestled Cody at Night of Champions for the IC title, and Cody beat him. Good.
Rightfully so.
And then Ted DiBiase Jr. on SmackDown in 2011, right? Most of 2011, right? Drafted to SmackDown 2011 in the draft, right? Then after that, 2012-ish, right? He was a jobber. He was pretty much jobbing to Jinder Mahal. And losing to Heath Slater, Tyson Kidd, Ryback, Ryback or Brodus Clay or Tensai. Yeah. Remember?
Later.
or something like that. Then in 2013, in late 2013, Ted DiBiase Jr., yeah, guess what? He gets released or he leaves. And then I think before his release, Ted DiBiase had this thing called the Ted DiBiase Posse. What the hell is that?
Yeah, what the fuck was the DiBiase Posse?
And there are people that think that he had potential. And remember, and this is the same man, by the way, bro. WWE in 2010 chose to push him over Cody Rhodes when Cody Rhodes was the guy and not Ted DiBiase. They chose the wrong guy, honestly. And now look where Cody's at now and DiBiase's at now.
Yeah, Cody's going to be main eventing WrestleMania against Randy Orton.
And how many WrestleMania main events has Ted DiBiase had?
0.
And apparently, we've seen something, right? Apparently, I forget who it was. It's April 19th in Vegas. Book it. Apparently, let me find it. But there are now rumors coming about or how Randy Orton was on the phone with someone recently on WWE television on Raw and SmackDown. People are coming up with rumors that Ted DiBiase Jr. was the one on the phone with Randy Orton. Do we get Ted DiBiase Jr. back in WWE at WrestleMania 42, bro?
No.
Do we?
No.
Is that something you... I mean, I got to be real with you. Do you see it, A? And B, is it something you would love to see? I got to get your thoughts, bro.
I don't want to see it, and I have no desire to see it. And it should not even be an idea thought of it created.
And this was apparently like with Scott Gilbert, parentheses, Clay Edwards. Ted DiBiase Jr. got a call during a recent podcast with his attorney. Quote, April 19th, Vegas, book it.
Oh, my God.
There's people going around with rumors. Was he on the phone with Randy Orton? And does DiBiase help Orton win the title at WrestleMania from Cody?
On no planet, this should be a possibility.
Oh, but isn't he great like The Miz and Kit Wilson? No, and no.
The Miz and Kit Wilson are better.
Imagine on SmackDown we get The Miz, Kit Wilson, and DiBiase all on SmackDown in 2026. Imagine.
Oh, please. Kit Wilson and The Miz are better than him, but that's not saying much.
Yeah.
My dog is better than Ted DiBiase Jr.
Your what?
My dog is better than Ted DiBiase Jr. It probably has more charisma too.
Holy shit. But hold on. I'm gonna let you take the floor with this. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. That was my grandmother trying to talk. She knows I'm on the podcast, and she can't really talk during my podcast. I'm sorry, guys, but ignore that, please. I'll probably have to edit out after the stream. But anyways, yeah, Ted DiBiase Jr. found not guilty with the Mississippi welfare fraud trial, man. Please don't have him at WrestleMania. I want him nowhere near WrestleMania. Please.
I don't want him anywhere near a wrestling ring.
Awful. But yeah. Might as well. I don't want to talk much about the DiBiase thing, so we're moving on from that. Street Profits. So might as well talk about this as well. Angelo Dawkins, apparently him and his wife are expecting a third child, and also, so I want to say congratulations to that. And the Street Profits have been off TV for a while as well.
Yeah.
So there's that. And if I can find this stuff on the Street Profits, there's a report actually that the Street Profits have been discussed recently in creative in WWE, and the return could be in the works. Now, this is according to This is according to this with WrestleVotes Radio on Fightful. And according to a report, sources indicate that a return to TV has been discussed, though it was not made clear whether that would happen before or after WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas, Nevada, on April 18th and 19th. The lack of specific timeline leaves open the possibility that the duo could return as part of the WrestleMania build, or that their comeback may be saved for after the event as part of WWE's post-Mania refresh. Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford have been off WWE TV since October 2025, which is a shame.
Yeah.
They worked a handful of matches on NXT live events at the end of January this year, but have not appeared on the main roster since. As of the latest reports, neither team member is dealing with an injury, which rules out the most common explanation for such a prolonged absence. The Street Profits built a strong following during their time on the main roster, winning the Raw Tag Team Championship on multiple occasions. The team was consistently one of the more overacts in the tag division in recent years. The return would add depth to a tag team division that has been significant movement heading into WrestleMania season. That WWE has been building several tag team storylines across both Raw and SmackDown in recent weeks, and the Street Profits could slot back into that picture relatively quickly, given their existing popularity with the audience. I don't know what stories they're talking about, but for a tag team, but we got MFTs and White Six that nobody asked for. We got something now with the Motor City Machine Guns and Fraxium, but I don't know where they're going with that. But honestly, the Street Profits back could help. And it sucks that they've been off TV for months. Like, why? One of your best tag teams and they're not on TV. That should not be the case at all.
Yeah, it's just a shame. Like, I hope they'll come back soon.
Yeah, I don't know why. Honestly, they've been off TV. I mean, if it's creative or cash, I don't know what the hell it is. Maybe it's like, but the family thing, maybe like Angelo Dawkins, like I said, him and his wife, Grace Russo, are expecting their third child, a third kid's on the way. I don't know if it's that. I don't know. It's like almost like disappeared off the face of the earth, and I do miss the Street Profits, and them back would dare certainly help. I don't see them on the Mania build with the card. If they do come back, I could see the SmackDown after WrestleMania they return. I think you probably feel the same way.
Yeah, I mean, it's also with Montez, especially with this, in his case, with his wife, Bianca Belair, being injured for a year now. He's spending his time to take care of her.
Yeah. But, I mean, congrats to the Dawkins family, but I do miss the Street Profits, and they could use somebody like the Street Profits, because look at the SmackDown Tag Division before SummerSlam last year. Look at the SmackDown Tag Team Division before SummerSlam last year. It was very good. Coming out of that, it's went down from there. Now we get the White Six and the MFTs. Like, who cares?
It's hysterical.
Now you got a makeshift team and Damian Priest and R-Truth, who are now the tag team champions. That's not going to do much. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
I don't know. I do hope the Street Profits are back soon, because they could use them, but we'll see what happens, honestly.
I mean, congrats to the Dawkins family.
Yes.
I mean, it's reasonable, that you would want to be there for the birth of it, or at least, expecting your child.
Yeah,
to be there with
coming
your
into
wife.
the world.
So,
and maybe another, and I don't know if this maybe is a factor too with Bianca Belair's hand injury. Don't you think maybe also that contributes? Like maybe Montez is trying to help Bianca out at home, trying to recover from her hand injury.
Yeah, I think that's the case. I could see that being the case.
Or at least one of the factors.
Yeah.
Maybe not mainly, but maybe a factor that has something to do with it, of why the Street Profits have been out for months or have been off of TV for months.
I can agree with that. Yeah, I could see that being a case. One of the reasons. Especially with how long she's been out.
Yeah. But we'll see what happens regarding the Street Profits, man. I do miss them.
Yeah.
Other news, Tom Brady, owner of the NFL, right? There's actually news on him. Backstage news on Tom Brady's status for WrestleMania. Now, recently, Tom Brady's called WWE fake, which I hate. WWE in wrestling is not fake, by the way. Another one of my biggest pet peeves. Calling wrestling fake. It's not fake.
Yeah.
And apparently, according to Dave Meltzer says he's confirmed that the talks are ongoing well with WWE and Tom Brady, while making clear nothing has been agreed to at this stage. Quote, from what I've been told, they are in negotiations with Tom Brady, but there's absolutely not a deal at this point for Tom Brady, Meltzer said. So it could happen. Obviously, Logan Paul and Tom Brady are working. I mean, everyone knows they're working the angle. There could be something in some form at WrestleMania. It would not be a surprise, and what they did in the football game was clearly to build it, just as all the talk of Tom Brady cutting down pro wrestlers and the wrestlers all responding. That is all storyline. That's not like Tom Brady's a dick and he doesn't respect pro wrestling. And that's what
it's
Dave
probably
Meltzer said.
Let's be real. If we're being honest.
And Brady also referred to WWE as very cute during an appearance on Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast in February, and later called professional wrestling fake BS during a Sports Illustrated interview at the Fanatics Flag football media event as well.
Yeah. I think it's all work. Let's be real. I think it's all a storyline. Especially if he was on Impulsive, which is, with Logan.
It says Brady is also a minority owner of the Las Vegas Raiders as well, but do we see him involved at WrestleMania somehow?
Possibly.
I don't know if we see him take a bump. I don't know. I don't think he wrestles on the show, nor should he. Maybe take a bump? I don't know.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
it's possible we could see him maybe involved with something with him and Logan at WrestleMania.
Probably.
Not in the match.
Yeah.
It's a long as it's not a match. It should be fine.
Yeah. If Logan Paul wrestles on the Mania card, do you see maybe Tom Brady is getting involved?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe either him or Bad Bunny.
Maybe could probably be, but I mean we'll see. But as far as Tom Brady and WWE is concerned, I'm not a big Tom Brady guy. I'm not. As long as he doesn't wrestle, that's all I care about. I just don't want him in a match and taking a spot away from a full-time wrestler on the roster. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion, but we'll see what happens. But anything else that happens on Tom Brady, we will certainly let you guys know. So that's that on Tom Brady. Mentioned AEW Dynamite was horrible, awful show. NXT on Tuesday. We had some talking points. We had Johnny Gargano apparently won a gauntlet match, 5-man gauntlet, last eliminating Shiloh Hill, and how Johnny won. Apparently, there's this storyline where Johnny Gargano's laying on a crate, and he's trying to find and Candice LeRae's trying to find him as Johnny wrestling again. And Johnny Gargano got destroyed and buried by Oba Femi, and then Johnny Gargano is always on the crate, on the production crate, laying because his partner Tommaso Ciampa is in AEW, and Johnny Gargano's all by himself, and Candice LeRae's trying to help Johnny Gargano find Johnny wrestling, who he is again, and trying to bring that Johnny wrestling back out of him again. And apparently now Johnny Gargano was on NXT on Tuesday, won a gauntlet, and he's now facing, and now at NXT Stand and Deliver at the Factory in St. Louis, April 4th on YouTube, Miles Bourne will defend the North American Championship at that show against Johnny Gargano. Now, what did you think? What do you think of this whole Johnny? I don't know where this whole thing with Johnny Gargano goes. I mean, at first when he was destroyed and buried by Oba Femi, it's like, oh, what are they doing with Johnny Gargano? And I don't know where this whole thing goes to, or where this thing leads to. Unless this leads to Johnny Gargano back as a babyface again. As Johnny wrestling, he's on SmackDown back with his NXT babyface black and gold roots with the Rebel Heart and as a babyface underdog like another Daniel Bryan. Unless this leads to that, then fine. But I don't know where this leads to. If it leads to that, I don't know what you think on this. And what do you think of Miles Bourne versus Johnny Gargano at Stand and Deliver and this whole Johnny Gargano storyline as a whole? Where do you think this goes anywhere? Do you think it doesn't? I want to get your thoughts on this.
I think it may go somewhere. I mean, the match should be good. Miles Bourne has been impressive.
Yes, he's gotten better.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, for a deaf
So
wrestler,
I think and Johnny,
he's still learning, but he's put in the work.
yeah, the Johnny, he's the type of guy that can bring the best out of Miles Bourne. I think it should be a good match.
Yeah,
You
let these two go out there and actually put on a great quality match. I think it might even be match of that weekend.
Yeah.
And if anyone can bring the best out of Miles Bourne, it's Johnny Gargano. And maybe if this leads to Johnny turning babyface again, if there's anyone that could probably do that and get the babyface into Johnny Gargano, that babyface character into Johnny Gargano again, it could be Miles Bourne.
Yeah.
So
in terms of this whole thing, in terms of the whole depression story, it has to lead to a babyface turn. He lost in a squash to Oba.
Yeah, buried by Oba. I hated that dude. You got no offense. He was in his street clothes, squashed by Oba. Got no offense. Like you don't do that to a guy like why would you do that to Johnny Gargano?
I get you want to build up Oba.
And I doubt Triple H even would want. I know he's a Triple H guy, but I refuse to believe Triple H would want something like that. It has to be a Bruce Pritchard thing. Easy.
Yeah.
I know Triple H just had it created if he gives the yes or no, but it's got to be a Bruce thing. Got to be. Because Bruce Pritchard hates Johnny Gargano. But I do hope this leads to somewhere with Johnny. I do.
Yeah. I hope.
There's got to be a reason why they're doing this. And I hope coming out of Stand and Deliver next weekend that we get Johnny as a babyface again. And please give him his Rebel Heart babyface NXT Black and Gold song back. Not enough of this Def Rebel crap for Johnny. Actually turn him face again. And they could use an underdog babyface like him on SmackDown. They could use something like that. And we don't know what Sami Zayn's doing at WrestleMania. We don't know, does he go heel at WrestleMania, help Randy take the title off Cody at Mania? If you do that, Sami Zayn's an underdog babyface, you turn him heel, they're gonna need someone to fill that role on SmackDown. You could put Johnny Gargano in there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know where this goes. I'm slightly intrigued. I just hope they do the right thing and turn Johnny face again. And I think there's contract rumors of him if he's leaving or what's his contract status.
He's not going anywhere.
And I think it said he's happy there. I don't know.
I think he is.
I don't know, but we'll see. But we'll see where this whole Johnny Gargano storyline, depression storyline goes. But I just hope at the end of the day we get babyface Black and Gold NXT Johnny Gargano again coming out of Stand and Deliver. I just hope they do the right thing. And
it has to lead to a payoff. It needs a payoff.
You know how The Rock and Hogan fought Icon versus Icon WrestleMania 18 and The Rock brought the babyface out of Hogan again?
Yeah.
That's got to be the same year, but with Miles Bourne and Johnny Gargano. Has to be. Otherwise, what are we doing? We also got on NXT, Kendall Gray and Ren Sinclair, the new Speed Women's Champion. They beat Fatal Influences, Laney Reed and Fallon Henley when Kendall Gray, I think, made Laney Reed tap out to the armbar. There was a really nice transition from to a tradition up on Laney's shoulder to flip her down to an armbar. That was a very nice transition from Kendall Gray, by the way. There was even a spot before that, a Stun Dog Millionaire Stunner from Kendall to Laney, and then followed by some Andrade Judas Effect Chris Jericho move, the spinning back elbow, that Judas effect, or the back elbow that Andrade does. That's very vicious every time he does it. Kendall Gray pulled that move off. It looked very, very good, nasty in a good way. And I have to say this. I gotta call facts spade, call spade a spade. Kendall Gray is very good. I don't know, she hasn't been wrestling this long in WWE. Like, I don't know where the hell this one came from, but dude, she is so fucking good. She's great.
She's amazing. She's honestly the best women's wrestler in at least in NXT. Either her or Fallon. I'll be honest.
Well, definitely one of my favorites these days in WWE. She's that good and hasn't been doing it this long and this young of an age. She's not even in her prime yet. And I do see people online comparing Kendall Gray to like a female version of Kurt Angle. And I actually, you can call me crazy, I might actually have to say the same thing.
Yeah.
About Kendall Gray, her being like a female Kurt Angle. And you have my permission to call me nuts saying that I could see the female version of Kurt Angle comparisons with Kendall Gray. I could see it. And I can see it. I mean, I don't think I'm crazy saying that, no.
No. She does remind me a lot of Kurt Angle. Like she's like a female version. She does come from I think she comes from an amateur wrestling background.
Yes, I think she wrestled on the wrestling team. I think there's a story. I think she was on Busted Open rated with Bully Ray. I think it's a fun little story. She said it herself that she was the only girl on a wrestling team when she wrestled in college or high school, I think. And she wrestled in college too. Kendall Gray. I think she's from Vegas as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. But she wrestled on the wrestling team, wrestled in college. And I think she's really, I think she's good friends in real life as well with Julius Creed, one half of the Creed brothers, an American Made. She's good friends in real life with Julius Creed. And I think Julius Creed was the one that got Kendall a WWE tryout, and she got signed. After they were done with wrestling in college, and they got tryouts in WWE, and he got her a tryout, and then she got signed. And the rest is history, and she's been there ever since. So, and she hasn't been wrestling, like I said, hasn't been wrestling this long, and look how good she is. And I do see Kendall Gray as your next women's champion in NXT. Mark my words. She did very good in Evolve, and honestly found herself in Evolve. Like, before Evolve, she was just like there, like no character, nothing. But when Evolve started, that's when I feel like Kendall Gray really, truly found herself. And you look where she is now and has truly evolved, no pun intended. Evolve really made Kendall Gray who she is now. And she's only going to get better from here on out. And I'm very excited to what she does soon. And again, she's your next NXT Women's Champion. Come stand and deliver. Mark my fucking words. And I've seen signs lately on SmackDown saying Kendall is the future. Those are facts, man.
They're not wrong.
I've seen it twice now during SmackDown with a purple sign with white lettering. Kendall is the future.
They're not wrong.
I'm very excited to see what. Honestly, this is only the beginning for Kendall Gray. It's only up from here on out. And apparently, NXT in the theater and MSG in Madison Square Garden next Tuesday, and NXT this Tuesday, March 31st, which I won't be at, sadly. Wish I was, but I sadly won't be there. I'll be at Raw and MSG this Monday, but apparently they announced Lola Vice and Kendall Gray this Tuesday on NXT Roadblock in Madison Square Garden, where the winner will face JC Jane at Stand and Deliver for the women's title. And I think this Tuesday NXT Roadblock is the go-home show, I believe, as well for Stand and Deliver, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's Kendall Gray versus Lola Vice this Tuesday at Roadblock. Kendall Gray is going to win that one. I think she beats Lola Vice, and then she beats JC Jane at Stand and Deliver. And I think we get a new women's champion. Then after WrestleMania, Fatal Influence gets called up, at least JC Jane to the main roster. And probably Fallon Henley joins her too on the main roster. But those are my but yeah, Kendall Gray from Tuesday NXT, nothing but praise for her. We also got Joe Hendry on NXT as well, mingling with Ethan Page, Ricky Saints. I could probably see Ethan versus Ricky versus Hendry in a triple threat for the NXT title at Stand and Deliver, and I think Hendry retains. And I
think they announced the four-way match.
Four-way match, yeah. They did, yes.
I think.
Make a fatal four-way. Let me look at this card, actually. Stand and Deliver. So they have Joe Hendry, Ricky Saints, Ethan Page, and Tony D'Angelo at Stand and Deliver in a fatal four-way for the NXT title. I could probably see Hendry. I think Ricky and Ethan are not winning this match. And I think Ricky and Ethan both get called up after WrestleMania. And I think I see some ideas floating around of Randy Orton forming a new legacy on SmackDown coming out of WrestleMania with Randy Orton, Ricky Saints, and Ethan Page. I love that, actually. I'm sure you probably feel the same way. A new legacy 2.0.
Yeah. I actually like it.
That could be something. But we had the Joe Hendry's NXT title situation, Tony D'Angelo, which it's this new Tony D'Angelo is growing on me. Like I said, Johnny Gargano in the gauntlet, and there were people predicting, oh, this is where Hiromu Takahashi's going to debut, and we didn't get that.
Yeah, I think he may not be on NXT just yet.
Yeah,
at least.
And I think we also got Ruka and Zarya on the show as well. They had a nice promo back and forth.
Yeah, the crowd was noticeably more in favor of Zarya.
Even though she's the heel, yeah.
They're more in favor of her.
Yeah. So, but it's apparently that match is also announced for Stand and Deliver, which we all thought it would be. But Stand and Deliver is actually looking nice, actually. Hendry, D'Angelo, Ethan, and Ricky for the NXT title. Ruka and Zarya. JC Jane versus Kendall Gray. Miles versus Gargano. The Vanity Project versus Birthright or Los Americanos. Gracias. It's Rayo and Bravo Americano. I think they wrestle at NXT Roadblock and MSG this Tuesday, wrestling Birthright, and the winner of that match gets Vanity Project for the tag titles at Stand and Deliver. I think we get Birthright.
I'm going to go with the Los Americanos.
Over Birthright, bro? Channing, Stax, Lorenzo, and Yuri Connors? You're not going to go with one of Finley's sons?
I'm sorry. I got to go with the with my fellow Mexicans.
What? Come on. Unless Kaiser Americanos in there, I cannot take the Americanos winning this.
I like my Mexican people over there. I have to respect their culture, their heritage. They're nice people.
Yeah. Well, that was NXT Tuesday. I thought it was, I don't know what you thought. I thought it was fine.
Yeah, it was.
It was fine.
I mean, they're building towards Stand and Deliver.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they are.
I mean, it's shaping up to be nice.
Yeah. And hopefully it delivers on April 4th, no pun intended. But then we also got SmackDown from Friday. I said earlier in this video, the past two SmackDowns before this last Friday Night SmackDown, not good shows. This last Friday SmackDown, at least an improvement, in my opinion. We did get Randy Orton and Matt Cardona involved, and Matt Cardona was called a indie nerd and collect his action figures by Randy. Then Randy attacked him, and Matt Cardona's like, really, Randy, this is you. Like, this is not you. Like, this is what you're going to do. Then Orton called him an indie nerd and told him to go collect his action figures and then attack Cardona. Then Orton was on the phone during the show. I got to go back to the ring and then later on the end of the show and apologize. Call it Matt Cardona and apologize. They hugged, apologized at the end of the show, only for Randy to low blow Cardona and give him an RKO. And then he broke Cardona's arm. And don't say Cardona got what he deserved, by the way.
He got what he deserved.
But why?
He stuck his nose into somebody's business.
Yeah. But now they have Matt Cardona involved in this story, man, which I think I wouldn't be surprised if we get it maybe this Friday on SmackDown, wherever they're held. I think at some point during this Mania build on SmackDown, we get Randy versus Cardona.
I think this is where we're probably heading to.
Yeah, probably. It wouldn't. I would probably do that since they teased it, but we'll see where they go with that. We did get new tag team champions, by the way. Damian Priest and R-Truth beat Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa for the WWE tag team titles. So congratulations to the new tag team champions, Damian Priest and R-Truth. And there was something.
The belts are as far away from the MFT's Wyatt 6 storyline.
Yeah, thank fucking God for that. Thank God for that, but we still got the White Six and MFT's feud still feuding over the Lantern.
Sadly.
Why? Why?
Maybe somebody should ask Bruce that.
We did get a backstage thing, though, with Tama Tonga. Like, he was growing tensions with him and Solo Sikoa, telling Solo, you're acting just like Roman. So do we get Tama Tonga out of the MFTs? Is this a sign of things to come? Please, for the love of God, end the MFTs. Or get Tama Tonga on his own.
For real.
The guy could actually bring something in the mid-card. And he's not a bad wrestler. So I don't know where this is going, but I really hope this is the beginning of the end for the MFTs, dude. I really do.
Legitimately.
We did also have the Bellas challenging for the tag team titles against the Irresistible Forces. Why? Why?
Because fuck them, that's fine.
Hey, don't tell the Bellas what to do. They don't got to listen to you. You're not their parents. They went to SmackDown because apparently they thought on Raw they were going to get booked every week, and I guess they went to SmackDown for royal treatment. And the Bellas are legends, and you don't get to tell the Bellas what to do, what not to do. They want their one last moment in the sun. They had their time in the sun. Their careers are over, and nobody asked for the Bellas on TV in 2026, and nobody wants them there. The 3 to 5 Bella fanboys, the toxic Bella fans, they were the only ones who wanted the Bellas back because they don't know any better. And by the way, did you know it was voted the Bella fans are the most toxic?
Yeah, I don't know why we are now using toxic fans these days. I've seen worse fan bases than the Bellas.
Like which ones, bro?
Like what? The Sickos, the Bloodline stands.
Yeah, the AW sickos, though. Bloodline stands, yeah.
Yeah, these fans.
Yeah.
My God.
But we had the Bellas and the Irresistible.
Like the Bellas are like they are far from having the worst fan base, but who doesn't have a toxic fan base these days? Like Kit Wilson would say, toxic.
Kit Wilson, yeah, oh yeah, he was on the show. We'll talk about him. He was apparently in a segment with Jelly Roll. And we get Jelly Roll versus Kit Wilson tomorrow on SmackDown. Great.
Oh joy.
And that segment, by the way, was awful with Kit Wilson and Jelly Roll. That was terrible. I'm sorry, that sucked.
Kit Wilson.
It was like what, reading a fucking poem?
Yeah.
And making fun of Jelly Roll's weight?
Oh yeah, what a great build up there.
That was terrible, bro. I don't know how you felt. I hate that segment. Was god awful. I hated that segment, dude.
Like this is what they're having Jelly Roll doing. He's feuding with fucking Kit Wilson.
Moving on. We also got, well, like I said, the Bella Twins and the Irresistible Forces, right? We had Charlotte and Alexa get involved. The match was thrown out, as I knew it would. So why even book this match? So now it looks like we're going to get, I don't know, like, we're going to get the Bella Twins. We're going to get Lyra and Bayley, Charlotte and Alexa, Lash and Nia, Fatal 4-Way at WrestleMania for the women's tag titles. I think that's where they're going, yeah?
Yeah.
Especially with Lyra and Bayley beating the Kabuki Warriors Monday on Raw as well. I could see that. And please, if you're going to do that match, give Bayley and Lyra the titles. Nobody wants to see the Bellas winning those titles. Nobody. But the Bellas are there for what, 2 years? Who cares? Who cares? Like this women's
Bayley and Lyra have actually been doing some great work.
And they've been growing on me, actually. But the Bellas and Nia and Lash, this did nothing for me. I'm sorry.
And they ended in a disqualification.
Oh, joy.
So this will last until WrestleMania.
Yeah. Where are the drinks for that, bro?
Tasty.
Very tasty. What was also very tasty was this match, Axe Fraxium versus Motor City Machine Guns. This was actually very good.
Yeah, that was actually a fun match.
It was. We did get the Motor City Machine Guns winning thanks to help from Kansas LeRae. I think Chris Sabin won by pulling the tights. So I don't know where they're going with this too. With, like I said, Johnny Gargano depression storyline. Does this turn Johnny face? Are we doing a heel alliance with Johnny, the Guns, and Candice LeRae? Is Candice LeRae going to be a heel with the Guns and turn Johnny face? I don't know. Are they going to split up the Motor City Machine Guns? I don't know what they're doing here, man. But I don't know how you feel about it.
Let's just hope that they don't split up the Machine Guns.
Yeah, for the love of God, please don't break them up. They need tag teams. That's the worst thing and the dumbest thing they can do. They break them up. Sabin will go nowheres on his own. Shelley will go nowheres on his own. I mean, please don't break up the Motor City Machine Guns. That is a dumb move. We also got on this show, hearing from Randy Orton. He explained his actions from attacking Cody the previous week. And he said something about he hears voices in his head. And he says the problem with listening to the voices in his head is that they can lead him to being impulsive, but he needs that killer instinct to become a 15-time world champion. Randy then says he looks at the WrestleMania sign, says he'll do that with the RKO. Then he says the voices in his head console him, understand it, and talk to him to tell him that he'll become the undisputed WWE champion and beat Rhodes at WrestleMania. And that was Orton cutting a promo. I will say a good promo from Randy, honestly.
Yeah, Randy Orton has been the best part of SmackDown with it. His promos, the heel turn so far, the angle with Cardona, that was great.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think then they had something backstage with Sami Zayn as well. They had something with it. They had a backstage thing with Randy Orton getting in a verbal confrontation with Matt Cardona, and Orton shut Cardona like early in the beginning of the show. Aleister Black and Zelina Vega then make their way to the ring, and Aleister Black fought Sami Zayn, which was fine. And Trick Williams cost Sami the match, and Sami ran right into Black Mass, a vicious, hard-hitting Black Mass, and Aleister Black won clean. So it looks like we're not going to get Sami versus Aleister at Mania. We could get Trick versus Sami at Mania, honestly. And a nice win for Aleister Black, too. He's beat Randy Orton, and he's beat Sami Zayn. So I don't know what you feel about, like, do you feel they're slowly building up Aleister Black for something? Because he's beaten Randy, and now he's beaten Sami.
You see, with the way they're booking it, I could see him being one of the guys built up to challenge Randy after WrestleMania. Because I think Randy's gonna I think he's gonna win the WWE Championship. And I think we get an Aleister Black Randy Orton feud coming out of WrestleMania.
That could be. But we'll see where it goes. But Aleister Black, I mean, I hope this is maybe they're slowly building up. I hope this is the beginning of something good to come for him, because he's a guy that should be positioned as a top guy in your roster and on your company. I hope there's something nice for him in the future, but we'll see. Maybe they're slowly building him up, but he's beating Randy and Sami. I like it. So we'll see where this leads for Aleister Black and Zelina Vega on Friday Night SmackDown. We also got a formation of a new, the baddies from AEW. We got a new baddies group on SmackDown with Jade Cargill, B-Fab, and Michin as they put the beat down on Rhea Ripley, bro.
What a great segment that was.
Oh, but it was great. We got the baddies. Give it a chance. Listen, I don't like Jade Cargill. I think she sucks as a wrestler. But I will be fair. I will give this baddies group a chance. If it sucks, I'll call it out on it. I mean, this is only 1 week, but I mean, the making of a group, the looks of it looks good, but I just hope this works out for Jade, because Jade's just not working out as champion as a singles wrestler at all. I do hope a group thing, a baddies group works out for her, but I don't know. We'll see, but I don't know if
they just started. I can't shit on something that just recently started.
Yeah. Michin's probably the only better one out of the three, honestly. Like B-Fab,
Please.
Jade Cargill. We'll see where this goes, but they formed a new baddies group on SmackDown. I mean, hope it goes somewhere, but I don't know, man. Jade Cargill just sucks. I don't know if this is going to work out for her, but I'll give it a chance, but we'll see. And also thoughts on this Rhea and Jade feud. Are you loving it? Are you hating it? Do you give it a thumbs up, a thumbs down? What do you think about this Jade and Rhea Mania build so far, bro?
It's been terrible.
Yeah, to say it's been terrible is a huge understatement.
Like, what are they building it around? Bodies? I'm that bitch.
I don't think Rhea Ripley's the problem with this build. I really think it's solely and merely Jade Cargill because she just sucks. I really think it's Jade that's dragging Rhea down. I really think it's Jade. And Rhea, you can tell, is trying to carry this thing with Jade, but Jade just sucks. That's what I genuinely feel about this whole thing. So I don't know how you feel. That's how I personally feel about this whole build with Jade and Rhea going into WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So,
It's just been terrible.
Yeah. And then we also had a U.S. title open challenge match, or U.S. title match. Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov, and Carmelo won and retained clean here. This was really good. But I don't know if we get this match again at Mania. Does Melo win the U.S. title even make the Mania card? Which honestly, it really should. I don't know do they do this match again at WrestleMania? Do we get Melo even on the card? Because I don't think we get Melo and Trick now at WrestleMania for the U.S. title, which I would have preferred. I don't know what they're doing with Carmelo Hayes at WrestleMania with the U.S. Championship, because it's been the best thing for months on SmackDown. And the U.S. title and Carmelo Hayes deserves to be on the show. And no way, and you're not leaving them off the show, by the way. And no, the SmackDown before Mania does not count. It doesn't count.
It's WrestleMania SmackDown.
Dude, SmackDown Mania is not Mania, bro. That doesn't count.
It's WrestleMania, pal.
Dude, WrestleMania is Saturday and Sunday. What the fuck is a SmackDown WrestleMania Friday?
Oh my god. Yeah, remember with those Vince McMahon, he was doing WrestleMania SmackDown, WrestleMania Backlash.
WrestleMania SmackDown, the most stupendous. Remember? 2022, remember that.
Terrible.
I was in Dallas for Mania 38 weekend, by the way. Fun little fact. That's where Riddick Moss or Madcap Moss won that Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, the most prestigious Battle Royal, right, bro?
Yeah, prestigious. Yeah, Jobber Battle Royal.
Oh, but Carmelo Hayes won it last year and had the Dre necklace for Andre the Giant and did this.
Yes, because winning the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal gives you greatness.
Dude, I could be in that Battle Royal and could win it. It would mean nothing.
Literally.
That Battle Royal doesn't mean shit. It doesn't. Like, who are they going to have win this Andre the Giant Battle Royal? What's it going to mean? I don't know, but I mean, Carmelo Hayes, Ilya Dragunov. I don't know. Again, what do both of these men do at WrestleMania? Do we get Melo on the card at all? Like, if he doesn't wrestle Ilya, doesn't wrestle Trick, who does he wrestle? Do we get Tama Tonga?
Maybe.
He's been teasing looking at the U.S. title for months as well. Maybe. We'll see. Do we get Ilya and Carmelo? If we don't, do we get Ilya Dragunov maybe versus Gunther? Because he's been off Raw for 3 weeks now. And I think it was supposed to be Gunther and Rey Mysterio, but Rey's still hurt. Rey Mysterio, that is. So I don't know what we're doing here, but if Rey Mysterio's not cleared in time for Mania, what do you think of Gunther versus Ilya Dragunov at WrestleMania?
I could see it. I don't know if they're going to do it because they're on separate brands.
But it doesn't. Who cares? Honestly, who cares?
Yeah, they haven't shed the ring in like a while.
Yeah. But maybe you could do that. Maybe you could do, I don't know, maybe RVD, who's apparently open to a WWE return. I don't know if we do RVD versus Gunther with the career killer gimmick with Gunther. I don't think that's a good idea. I I don't think that's what people want to see. RVD open to a WWE return. That's RVD open to a WWE return. That's nice, but versus Gunther at WrestleMania, I'm not so sure about that.
I mean, what else are you gonna book for Gunther at WrestleMania? I mean, if you're not gonna do Dragunov versus Gunther, then what else? Like, you were supposed to get Gunther Mysterio, Rey Mysterio, but Rey's injured.
Do you do Gunther versus Dragon Lee Part 2?
No.
And Dragon Lee try and avenge the loss and try and avenge his friend AJ Styles. Maybe they have more of a
He
story.
already lost. We don't need to run that match back.
Do you do Penta and Gunther? But Penta's,
We don't
but
need to
then
run
you
this
gotta
back
have
at
Gunther. But then Gunther can't lose, and Penta just
Gunther
won.
needs
That's
a
how
bigger
lose.
match.
Penta and Gunther's lose. You can't do that right now. I would not do Penta and Gunther. What about Gunther versus Javon Evans? Javon Evans tries to win for his heroes AJ Styles. Gunther versus Javon Evans? Maybe? I don't know, man. But it's not. But we got Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov here. I just wonder, I don't know if they do this match again at WrestleMania. I don't know. How many times have they fought now? It's got to be, what, half a dozen times now? I don't know, but we'll see. Well, this was a good match.
Maybe just book Gunther versus Rob Van Dam.
Maybe. I don't know. But as far as Mello and Dragunov are concerned, this was actually very good. They don't really have...
Maybe do Gunther or RVD and wrestle.
Maybe, yeah. But with Mello and Dragunov, this was very good. They rarely have a bad match. But we also had on the show, what else do we have on the show? We had, like I said, Randy Orton attacking Matt Cardona, breaking his arm. We also had on the show Jacob Fatu, Drew McIntyre brawling at the beginning of the show. Then at the end of the show, and Nick Aldis was trying to control Randy, and then Jacob and Drew. And Jacob and Drew both take each other out high from the side of production truck at the end of the closed SmackDown this past Friday. Drew and Jacob is sure happening at Mania for sure. It can't be one-on-one, though. What do you think, like a last man standing?
I think it needs to be a stipulation.
Yeah. No holds barred.
Needs to be a stipulation.
I would, if I was booking this, you know how I would book Drew versus Jacob at Mania? Last man standing. Have McIntyre versus Fatu at Mania in a last man standing match. I think that is the way to go about it. You could do no holds barred, but I would prefer the last man standing stipulation if I was booking it. That's just me. But I will say, though, Drew McIntyre, Jacob Fatu, much better than the previous week where Drew McIntyre said he quit, right? Drew McIntyre,
yeah, he quit, and then he shows up like 2 hours later.
Oh, I can't take it anymore. I quit. Hey, stop hating. Didn't Drew did this 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh, but stop complaining about it then.
Like, come up with something new.
Again, stop complaining. This isn't too bad. It's okay for Drew to say, okay, you know what? I quit.
No, it's not.
Before, in 2024. Why do it again? Terrible. But that was SmackDown this past Friday. An improvement from the past 2 weeks. Still not where it needs to be, though.
I gotta get out of here right now, actually. I may have to get out earlier. I got something to do.
Well, before we actually end the thing here, actually, real quick, before we get out of here, I want to talk about Bron Breakker really quick. Apparently, he could be back in time for WrestleMania after all. Apparently, WWE is positive that he could make it in time for Mania. And if you see on Raw lately, with Seth Rollins and his putties, I don't know. Do you think we get something Raw on MSG this Monday where Seth is running around with the putties, the masked man putties, and out of nowhere, one of the masked men spears Bron Breakker? One of the masked men spears Seth, and it's unmasked as Bron Breakker. And we get Bron Breakker versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. And do you think they set that up for that this Monday at Raw at the Garden on Raw?
Very,
I'm sorry?
very likely. Very possible.
I would actually love that,
I can see
actually.
that.
And I think Bron Breakker was said to be at the Performance Center this past week. Who's to say he's not cleared? Maybe he's getting cleared. Maybe there's some hope. If Bron, and I will say this, and I think Bron being back, I think is more good than bad. And I actually hope he's back this Monday because it would actually help the Mania build on the card. It would help Seth's purpose on Mania as well because right now, Seth Rollins feels right now in limbo for WrestleMania. And if you get Bron Breakker back in time for Mania, it helps out a lot better for things, and it's a lot better off for it. So I really do hope Bron Breakker is able to get cleared this week, and hopefully he's back as soon as this Monday at Madison Square Garden on Monday Night Raw, and it would certainly help. So we will see, honestly, but and if Bron Breakker's back, man, I will say this, bro. Man, was he lucky. This could have been much worse.
Yeah, this injury, this hernia injury, could have turned out way worse than it turned out to be.
He had the match with Punk in Brooklyn on Raw, right? Lost to Punk clean, right? Well, he got screwed kind of. Then he put his hands on Adam Pearce. Then he gets suspended, brought back. Then he's screwed at the Rumble. Then he breaks the announce table on Raw in Philly after the Rumble in Saudi with the break the announce table. That just aggravated the hernia. But I just hope he's able to get cleared. And again, could have been much worse. And holy shit, he got lucky. But I will say, but ultimately, I hope he gets cleared. I do, because if you don't clear him, what does Seth do at Mania? Like a tag match against Logan Paul, Austin Theory? Like that's not Mania worthy. Like what the hell's that? And just doesn't help WWE with these injury bugs with this Mania build. It doesn't.
It doesn't.
So we'll really see. But
you gotta need some big matches for WrestleMania because so many injuries just fucking destroy their original plans.
I will say, though, I will give WWE some credit where the original main event of Mania plans, Seth and Roman, Punk and Cody, would have been at Seth not got hurt at Crown Jewel in Perth last October in Australia. But now with Cody and Randy and Roman and Punk, this is at least just as good. And they did not actually just as good, even with the unfortunate injury bug circumstances. So I got to give them work. So I do have to give them some credit. Their Mania main event parts and the traction with Oba versus Brock, that's at least strong. So I do at least have to give them credit on that, even with the injury bug they're dealing with. And because that's not an easy thing to deal with. So I got to give them credit as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, they've been able to adjust well.
Yeah. And with the Braun thing, I again hope he gets cleared. It's just, yeah, like I said. So we'll see. Maybe we see maybe I see Bron Breakker live in the Garden. I will say this: I do pay tickets to go see Bron Breakker, not Omos, by the way, bro.
No, you pay ticket to see the Nigerian Giant, your favorite of all time.
He will not be there, not even with Vikingo from AAA.
He will be there, and you're gonna.
Shout out to El Hijo del Vikingo, one of the greatest luchadors today, along with Penta and Dragon Lee, Rey Fenix, and Rey Mysterio. Vikingo's great. And then we had the closing part of this episode, Raw, this past Monday night. I don't know what you think. I feel like I don't know how you feel. I've been noticing this. Coming out of the Elimination Chamber, Raw's actually been solid.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bad show this Monday. I mean, not perfect, not great. But there was, not a lot of wrestling either this past Monday on Raw. But there was some stories and some story progression, which I appreciate. When we had Oba dominating Brock again, and that was a great opener for Raw. And
Oba Femi has been made to look like a legitimate beast.
The guy is already made, I'll be completely honest with you. Even if Brock beats him, Oba's already made. And maybe they do Brock and Oba here at Mania. Brock wins, but Oba and Brock face each other again at SummerSlam in Minneapolis, Brock's hometown. And Brock retires there at SummerSlam, and Oba gets the win back. Who knows? But if I was booking the Mania match, I would have Oba go over. But if we have Brock win, then they do the match again at SummerSlam. Oba gets the win back, retires Brock at SummerSlam. Then that's fine. Or maybe Brock retires at WrestleMania. They apparently said Brock Lesnar's time is short, but we'll see. But I'm loving what they're doing with Oba and Brock. They've booked Obafemi perfect so far on Raw.
Yeah, they booked him to be a legitimate monster.
Yeah, and he's so over, dude. He's so over. He is your next big thing. He is your future piece of your company for years to come. He's the guy.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Absolutely charisma.
Like, he should be a multi-time world champion when it's all said and done.
Yeah. Who knows? He may even be world champion by the end of this year.
Who knows? Anything can happen.
If that happens, I would not be mad at that at all. I really wouldn't. And this company needs to build their future, so that would line along with that nicely. So we'll see. We also had AJ Lee and Becky Lynch in their promo. And watching that, I have to ask you something. Where was that build going into their build for the Elimination Chamber?
Yeah.
There was
the best promo they cut since
there was no skipping. There was no AJ Lee skipping that AJ did. She even
brought up swing Becky, swing
Becky, swing. Like what the like what the like was that how you would talk to someone in real life?
No.
That just sounds so fucking unrealistic, bro.
Yeah, unbelievable.
And then AJ Lee brought up that your daughter Rue is that I'm your daughter Rue's favorite wrestler, and Becky Lynch got all pissed off.
Ouch.
And then Becky's like, you are not her favorite wrestler. And then AJ Lee said that, how about Becky? You have the chance to make. How about I have the chance to make you tap out Becky on the grandest stage, you, me, of the IC title at WrestleMania. Then Becky Lynch is like laughing sickly, like a sadistic woman. Says this sadistic person, Becky Lynch. Oh, you're easily falling into my trap. And welcome to the big time. That was a good promo, I will say. Much better than their build for the Chamber. I don't know where this was for their build to the Chamber, because this was so much better. This blew their Chamber build out of the fucking water. If I say so myself. Go ahead.
And their Mania matches should be good.
It should. And I expect Becky to win the belt back at Mania, by the way. Which she should. I think AJ is off TV after Mania until like maybe SummerSlam time, but this their match with the Chamber wasn't bad. I expect another good match with the two at WrestleMania. But we'll see. We also had the Vision and the Usos. The Usos lost by DQ after Jay used the brass knucks and Jay got disqualified. And that led to the later part of the show as well. We had Javon Evans, Grayson Waller. Javon Evans won. Okay. And Danhausen put a curse apparently on Grayson Waller. Then we had Paul Heyman calling out Seth Rollins, and Seth Rollins, quote, got arrested.
Yeah, the cursing is undefeated.
Yeah, the curse is undefeated. Danhausen cursing is undefeated. We had Seth Rollins, quote unquote, arrested for putting his hands on Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman mentioned something about Seth's daughter Rue and Becky's daughter Rue. And Seth hit Paul Heyman, and Heyman got Seth arrested. It was the Boston police, by the way, 4 Boston cops arresting Seth Rollins. Yeah, I don't know what you think of these arrest angles. I'm not really a big fan of them, but again, I hope this leads to Seth and Braun at Mania. I do. So
I think this is probably what it's building to.
And if you saw how Seth put his hands on Heyman, maybe this retaliates for Braun and he attacks Seth next week in the Garden for Raw in New York City. I don't know, but another good promo from Paul Heyman. He mentioned Seth's daughter Rue, that Seth, you lay your hands on me, you're going to get arrested, and then I'll be Rue's new father, something like that. And that was a nice line from Heyman. We also had on the show Bayley and Lyra versus the Kabuki Warriors. Lyra and Bayley won after Lyra I think she beat Kyrie with the Nightwing after Bayley did a belly to belly and Asuka on the announce table. Then Bayley tried the elbow through the announce table, but Asuka moved out of the way. Bayley took out both Kabuki Warriors and hit the Nightwing on Kyrie, and Lyra got the win. Then Lyra and Bayley put their names in the hat for the women's tag titles at WrestleMania as well. We also got Penta versus Dominic again for the IC title. And Penta won thanks to, Penta won and retained, rather, thanks to the distraction from Finn Balor. And then Balor was attacking Dominic after the match, tried a coup de grace, but McDonough got the coup de grace instead from Balor. Nice segment there. And then we got the main event. Oh, actually, I think we also got Io, Kyrie, and Asuka teased backstage before the main event segment of the show as well.
Yeah, they're gonna book Io versus Raquel next week.
Yes, Io and Raquel. And also, Raw this Monday in the Garden, I will say, might I say it looks stacked? We got Brock Lesnar appearing, Roman Reigns appearing. We got the Usos and the Vision for the World Tag Team titles in a New York City street fight. We got Bayley and Lyra, I think, versus the Irresistible Forces for the women's tag team titles. Bayley and Lyra versus Nia and Lash for the women's tag titles. And then we get Io versus Raquel. It should be a stacked, hopefully it's a good show this Monday on Raw in the Garden. It looks like a stacked show, and hopefully it's better than last year's, because last year's was not that good. But this Monday's Raw in the Garden looks pretty stacked in my opinion. And then, so we had Io tease something with Kyrie and Asuka. Maybe this leads to Io and Asuka at Mania with Kyrie involved, and she chooses Io over Kyrie. Io over Asuka. This Kyrie. So
maybe Kyrie's gonna yell at herself.
Kyrie.
Yeah. Jokes aside, I this is what it's building. It's the meant to make the most sense for Io at WrestleMania.
Yeah. There was rumors going around Io versus Raquel at Mania. Like, that's a terrible idea.
We like Raquel, but this is not a Mania match.
Yeah. So it looks like we're not getting that at Mania. Thankfully, we're getting it at Raw this Monday. So it looks like we're not going to get Io and Raquel at Mania. Thankfully. And then the main event, the segment where CM Punk's out there with Roman Reigns, and CM Punk comes out, he cuts a promo on Roman, like saying that saying it's like, oh, you're old. Roman saying to Punk, oh, you're old, or what, you're old. And then Punk says he's glad to be old. Something like that. Then Jey Uso's music hits, and then Jimmy comes out. And Jey says to Punk, you've been running your mouth about the Samoan family. And Jey comes out with his music, but Jimmy comes out by himself with no music. And then Roman's music hit. And then Jey charged at Punk, and Punk clocked him, punched him, and then Reigns intercepts with a Superman punch on Punk. And then Roman just beat the shit out of Punk, man. Powerbomb him through the announce table, speared him. He destroyed Punk, did Roman Reigns. This was really good. And might I say, how Reigns and Punk, your old segment promo from the previous week on Raw, that promo wasn't that good. This one where Reigns laid out Punk, this was much better. Much better. And then you see CM Punk laughing after he got taken up by Roman. You see him laughing as well, and he said something along the lines with that. But I thought this was a much better job with the previous one. The promo 1, Punk and Roman, promo 1 good, promo 2 good, promo 3 not that good. Promo 4, they bounced back with that.
Yeah, this was a much better segment than whatever the hell that was last week.
Yeah, they definitely recovered and bounced back from the third one. I don't know what the third one was, but this one was leagues better. Now, I see people like, do we get the Bloodline reunion at WrestleMania? I don't think so, and I hope we don't. And it's not a good look on Triple H to go back to the Bloodline stuff in 2024. I do hope they don't do that. Something is going to happen at Mania. Something's got to happen at Mania. I do think something, bro, is truly going to go down at WrestleMania. Do we get Jey and Jimmy turning on Roman, going heel? Do they align with Punk? Do they get The Rock involved to set up Rock and Roman at next year's Mania? Do we get Jey individually turning heel, turning on Roman, costing Roman the title? I don't know what we do here, man. I don't know what you feel about it.
So many possibilities they could go with.
What do you say? Like, take a chance on Jey as a heel, as a singles guy, as a heel? Because if you notice lately, Jey hasn't been eating lately. He's been more of a serious, and I actually prefer this Jey over the Yeet Man Jey.
Yeah, he hasn't been eating in a few weeks.
Thank God. Thank God for that.
Yeah.
Maybe they listen and learn their lesson. Who knows? With too much yeet. But if you turn Jay heel on his own at WrestleMania, do you do Jay versus Jimmy again? Because their match at Mania 40 was not that good.
No. If anything, what I could see this lead to, I see this lead to a heel turn to both Usos.
Or do you do Jay as a heel on his own, a heel Jay versus face Roman at maybe somewhere down the line, which I don't want to see. Their match at SummerSlam in Detroit 3 years ago was not that good either. And no one wants to see that. That was not a good match either, just like Jimmy versus Jay at Mania 40. Maybe you turn both Jay and Jimmy heel. Who knows? And if you pay attention, CM Punk did mention to both Jimmy and Jay that Roman Reigns has still not apologized to you two, treating you two like young boys. He still hasn't apologized to you. And Punk did bring up a good point with that, which he's not wrong of. And Roman even going into late 2025 has treated the Usos badly. One line saying, Jimmy and Jay, I don't want to see you until Christmas 2025. Remember in Perth? I think it was Bronson Reed versus Roman Reigns in Perth where Roman got screwed out of the match accidentally by Usos and Bronson Reed won. So I don't know where this goes. I would say turn both Usos heel. Don't bring back the bloodline. Don't. Turn both Jimmy and Jay heel and cost Roman the title. I would say probably no Punk heel turn. But I would say Roman gets screwed by the Usos at Mania. I do. Or maybe this is a long shot, though. Hear me out. Zilla fought 2. Zilla fought 2 appears at WrestleMania 42 Night 2 main event to cost Roman the title. Then we get Zilla feuding with Roman coming out of WrestleMania. No alliance with Punk, but Zilla screws Roman out of the world title at Mania. What do you think about that? And we get Zilla with the Usos forming to feud with Roman coming out of WrestleMania.
Paul Heyman, I think he brought up Zilla recently.
He did. I think if I can find something, he did bring it. I do remember recently or something like that. But yeah, he's still on the Indies, which he should be in WWE now, to be quite honest with you. Oh, so this is Paul Heyman said like a day ago a report. WWE would be remiss if they don't sign Zilla Fought 2. Well, he's not wrong.
Tell him where he's wrong.
He's not telling lies here at all. I don't know what they're waiting for trying to sign Zilla Fought 2. I'd bring him in now. If he's free, bring him in now. I think he's wrestling in House of Glory. He's on the Indies. He's killing it on the Indies, by the way. So I don't know what they're waiting for. If I'm WWE, if I'm Triple H, I'm bringing Zilla Fought 2 in for WrestleMania. I'm bringing him in now. Can you imagine WrestleMania 42 Night 2 closing with Zilla Fought 2? Imagine. And I don't think many people are talking about it either. I would actually love something like that, but we'll see where it goes. But like you said, dude, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, there's a lot of routes they could go with. It makes this road to WrestleMania actually far more intriguing than last year.
Yeah, I will say compared, like I said at the beginning of this video, the Mania build last year compared to this year's Mania build, though this year's Mania build, not perfect, not great, but much better than last year's, dude. Leagues better than last year. Last year's was terrible. Last year's was not good at all. And like last year, this year's Mania is in late April. So I do have to give WWE some credit on this year's Mania build. A lot better than last year's. I mean, it's a slow burn to get to where we need to be. I mean, it's getting there. I have to be honest, it's getting there. Not perfect and great by any means, but it's slowly getting there. So we're slowly cooking something. Hopefully it goes up more and continues that way. So we'll see. But
they've been doing a good job with this Mania so far, despite the injuries.
And despite the fact that John Cena's retired as well, and everyone thought, oh, they're in trouble with John Cena retired. I don't think so.
They're doing just fine.
Yeah, I agree. But that is that for episode 18, folks, of Forbidden Podcast. And thank you guys for showing up here. Wesley, Stover, Coach Ed Sports, Mitch. All you guys are awesome. I love every one of you. And make sure you hit the like on the video, by the way. Subscribe to FioriousNation. If you're new watching this, hit the bell for all notifications. And follow me on at FioriNick579 on X, at Adam Carl 2005 on X as well. Nicholas Peer 31 on Facebook, Instagram Nicholas Fiore 2014, at FioriousNation over on TikTok. And again, love every one of you. Appreciate you guys showing up here. You guys are the best. Adam Carl, any other parting words before we get the hell out of here to conclude episode 18 of Forbidden Podcast?
Well, we're in March. We're heading into April.
Yeah, first one third of the year almost here, man. What the hell's going on?
Yeah, it's just time is flying by.
Absolutely.
And I hope everybody's having a great year, having a great day.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to next week's episode.
Yeah, episode 19, which will most likely be a predictions video for Stand and Deliver taking place April 4th. So look out for that. That should be a fun one. So look out for that one for episode 19 next week on April the 2nd. April 2nd, next Thursday. So look out for that around like 9:30, between 9:30, 10:30, around that same time frame. Appreciate you guys showing up here once again. You guys rock. Have a good rest of your Thursday. We'll see you next week for episode 19, April 2nd of the Forbidden Podcast, episode 19, week from Thursday, next week.